Hello everyone, welcome to the first match of Classic Tetris Gauntlet Ascension. I'm your favorite underwater host Sharky, and I'm here with my co-caster Grapes. Grapes, why don't you say hello to all the good peeps out there?
Hello, everybody. Pleasure to be here for the first matchup of Gauntlet Ascension. Heard that last season was a lot of fun. Had to join in, and I heard we got some exciting gameplay happening today in our first regular season game.
Yeah, it was, very short after the draft, so I think that's, one of the more interesting things is about these teams don't really have a lot of time to kind of like, prepare up against each other and really, build that team chemistry, which was very important over the past couple of seasons. Because generally the teams that went the furthest were teams that had the highest chemistry. So, that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at our first two players. They are warming up, and I believe they will be finishing up soon as well. Oh, you guys get to see the overlay for the very first time for most of y'all. The exception of those badges, those should not be there. There we go. Just make them disappear.
Yeah, this is our first matchup. It is the Ruby matchup of this game between the Wavey ones and the Grandmasters. Those are the two teams that'll be facing off first in the Gauntlet Ascension season. And I don't know, Sharky, these are two players that definitely can bring the firepower. I mean, both have hit PBs of 1.1 or higher and have some pretty solid qualifying matches as well. Should be a fun first matchup to open up our season.
Oh yeah, I agree. Especially Scamper, veteran to this to Gauntlet just in general, has been there for Gauntlet, I believe, almost all 5 seasons. So, well, 6 now. So definitely, has the veteran ability and understands the kind of pressure that he'll be in. And in, a sudden death match back whenever they played up against the Drywellers in the playoffs, Scamper was actually holding his own up against Alex T up until around level 23, where Scamper just ran into a situation and topped out, and then Alex T was able to take the lead. So
it'll be a fun matchup.
Yeah. Of course, this is a 4-player matchup, so we could see a sudden death, and we could also see a mercy rule, but we're gonna get all 4 matches played today. And Wide didn't play at all last season, was actually drafted to the Wavy ones, but had to take care of some things outside of the game, so had to drop out last season and somehow got drafted to the same team this season. Which, I mean, I think there was only 2 cases of that happening in the draft with Saint and Wide.
I mean, does that just mean that Sidnev was a big fan of Wide? Has to be, I guess.
I mean, yeah, because the whole entire drafting system is very interesting because certain captains, they went for players that obviously performed the best in the tryouts, and other captains, they went for players that they would feel would mesh well with their team. And some captains just simply invested in players where they might not have had the best of matches or tryouts, but they do have that potential, especially with those that are like rolling and such.
Yeah, first matchup again, best of 5 here. If you're unfamiliar with the format, each team has sent 4 players up out of their roster of 7, and will be playing kind of one by one, kind of like a baseball in a way, where you each send one person up, and you each are here to play each other in a match, and the first to get 3 points or 3 series wins will be our champion. Or if it ends up tied at 2, we'll enter that sudden death, which should be exciting as well.
Alright, so we do got a ready from Scamper, we just need a ready from Wide. Have a nice good luck, have fun in there. Always nice to see it. I mean, who knows, things could get pretty hostile at the end of the season. Especially, you got teams that are, super passionate about their team, well, teammates that are super passionate about their team, so we'll have to see. But here we go in 3, 2, 1, Tetris.
Now, as we start this game off, important to note that the way that players were kind of tiered as the draft happened yesterday was they each played a 10-game tryout, back-to-back-to-back games, and that average is a lot of what some of these captains based their selections off of, because although PBs are always a good thing to keep track of, consistency in Tetris is always a big thing as well. And Scamper averaged a 651 qual on average throughout his 10 games. And Wide, on the other hand, averaged just under 500k. So you can chalk up the inconsistency as much as you want, but if we're taking a look at how they perform in the tryouts, maybe Scamper has a slight edge.
Yeah, and of course, Scamper, like I've already mentioned before, this is, going to be playing for the Grandmasters again. I believe played for the Stochastic squad in the first season, playing for the Grandmasters again, and just being able to really harness that chemistry with existing players like Kingsman, and of course SV, taking the reins for, Tetris Time last season and Eric in the first season. So the Grandmasters are looking pretty strong to start things off, and they are definitely looking to make a statement for this first match of the season.
Yeah, of course, winning this first round, always going to get your team off on the right foot and maybe keep the energy going. Right now, it is a big lead for Scamper, but he has some digging to do. Meanwhile, Wide is Tetris ready, waiting for the long bar, but has about a 20-piece drought. Still waiting a little bit, but it should be clear. Is doing a nice job of just getting these single line burns to make sure the stack is in a controllable place. And on the other side, Scamper also has cleared out his board and actually is Tetris ready before Wide as his drought just continues to pile on.
Yeah, 35 pieces and counting. And, you really hate to see moments like this. There it is, finally gets the long bar. Able to knock down not one, but two Tetrises. Staying actually pretty close to Scamper. I think, Scamper ran into quite of a massive slowdown. Wide, able to bring it within a one Tetris gap and only being ahead by, well, not ahead by any lines anymore. But very good on Wide on that, maintaining that amount of efficiency while Scamper had to do just some amount of down stacking.
Yeah, even when faced with that 40-piece drought, was able to always keep that right side open, just waiting for the opportunity, finally got it, and now in a pretty good position. Now, Scamper has cleaned up since that slight, amount of cleanup that he had to do. He's going to knock down another Tetris to put himself up to 226,000 points, right under 60 lines. But Wide on the other side is not backing down, continuing to stack well, and already we're neck and neck once again.
Now, I got a question for you, Grapes, because I'm not sure how much you were able to pay attention last season. The Wavey ones were actually one of the two teams to start off the season, and they actually started off last season pretty rough. They lost their first 5 matches, but then after that, they went on a 9-match winning streak through the regular season and went on a winning streak throughout the playoffs for a total of 13 matches won in a row. Do you think that they might be able to kind of harness that same energy towards the end of last season and bring it into this opening match and the first, few matches of the season here?
Yeah, I mean, ending your season off on a good note, on a hot note, is always a good sign for your team heading into the off season, and of course the start of this season now, and with, of course, some players staying the same, as we have kind of alluded to earlier. I think the Wavey ones might have a good chance to strike pretty early, especially having Sidnev here in the back as your captain, kind of being that anchor for the team. I'm really excited to see how he is able to kind of rile up the momentum and really get this team started on a hot note.
Yeah, 349 for Scamper, 349 for Wide, and they were both at the same line count too, so things have just about equalized here. I mean, we're separated by half a single, so all that early advantage that Scamper was able to build has just evaporated, and we're still around 40 lines away from the transition. So either way, both these players are showing a very strong game here in the first match of the season.
Yeah, of course, the Ruby division, so we'll be seeing even higher caliber players later on, which is kind of a crazy thing to say, considering that both of our competitors here have both hit like 1.1s, 1.2s in the past. So I'm really excited for the high level of Tetris that we are going to see here, as Scamper kind of jumping out to about a 1 Tetris lead, as there was a little bit of cleanup that Wyatt had to do on his side of the board. He's going to knock one down as well. About 20 lines from transition, and looks like we're still very, very even up.
Yeah, things looking pretty good. Both players have been managing troubling situations. Wyatt did get into a scary situation a little bit ago, but was able to find the right pieces and navigate through it. And really, just the play has been so clean from both players. Scamper even more so, and you can kind of see that as, indicated by the Tetris rate we have there down at the bottom.
little bit of a drought here for Wide. We'll see how much he has to deal with here. This is the second extended drought that he has had to deal with. And you saw right there that right side was plugged up just at the unfortunate timing. But on the other side, now Scamper has to deal with a bit of a drought on his own. He is safer now, is able to burn a couple of lines and knock down a Tetris to put himself up to 520,000. We're still neck and neck as we are about to enter the transition. Wide's going to transition at 500k, and Scamper unable to hold out for one more. He's going to transition at 521.
Yeah, either way, really solid transitions, both 500k. Meanwhile, Wide still trying to navigate through this needs. Oh, doesn't go for the adjustment. Had a chance to open up the well slightly earlier. And there it is, knocks down. Oh no! Just a misdrop, and Wide's gonna top it at 510.
I don't know, because we saw a little bit of a freeze on our end, so I don't know exactly what happened on Wide's side of things, but that seemed like not too high of a stack to get that long bar over. I wonder if maybe there was a bug on his console or something, but I mean, kind of an unfortunate timing right there, because that was about to be a really, really exciting post-transition, but it looks like Scamper is good for game number 1.
Yeah, it did seem like Wide didn't necessarily transit. Screen literally froze. Oh wow, so that's tough.
We'll see what exactly we want to do here in this situation. Obviously, having a technical mishap is not the way that either player wants to end the game, but of course we do have to continue to keep things moving as well. So I think I'm going to leave this to our host Sharky to figure out what the ruling is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Wide actually wants to give Scamper the point, and so I'm not opposed to that. So Scamper will get the first badge here. That is not the right badge.
There we go. Well, it's in the middle, but that's all right.
Yeah, I don't know why this stuff is. It's all good. First stream of the season, so.
Well, I was excited to see the post-19 play, but from what we saw out of that beginning, Sharky, I feel like we're in for a very competitive series. Both players were neck and neck basically the entire time, and it was just like one unfortunate misdrop that caused Wide to top out early. So I'm really excited.
And I mean, it did seem like Wide might have been a little bit uncomfortable with the transition board, because there was definitely an opportunity for Wide to open up the well just a little bit earlier and didn't commit to the adjustment. And who knows, maybe that one row, having it be a little bit lower, could have made the difference.
Well, we got it ready from Scamper. Is ready. Yeah, I think we're waiting for Wide to rejoin the maxed out club, get back in, and we'll see what happens. I hope that all the technical issues will be sorted out, and I'm just ready for a competitive best of 5 here.
All right, we got the cam back. It looks like Wide is in maxed out club, just waiting on a ready on their end. Once we get it ready, we'll be able to get things right back underway. And I mean, it's actually funny because I just now thought about it. In this particular matchup, we actually have 2 finalists in the playoffs playing up against each other. The Grandmasters were finalists in the first season of Teams Ignition, and the Wavey ones were the finalists in the most recent season, Overdrive. Just crazy that I just now thought of that.
That should be a good time. We're gonna get game 2 started. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Scamper up 1-0 right now. Grandmasters ended up taking the first game of the Gauntlet Ascension season. So, I mean, you're not gonna be able to take that away from them. They still have a lot of work to do though to close out this match.
Yeah, and you know what we saw from the first game from Wide, it was really solid 18 play. Good survival, and was just only slightly less efficient than Scamper in some aspects. But even then, we saw points to where they were separated by half a single, so they could have, tied had, certain burns gone a little bit differently. And speaking about burns going differently, Wide having to go through a little bit of a small drought there.
Yeah, and on the other side though, Scamper has filled up the right side just a little bit. He will be Tetris ready now. We'll see what kind of tuck situation Wide decides to go with here. It looks like instead just going to take a couple of delayed burns to reopen the well. With this double, should be clean again. But once again, it is Scamper jumping out to an albeit very small early lead. We saw it, of course, be kind of a difference maker here back there in game number 1, but I guess we wouldn't really know for sure.
Yeah, I am looking forward to seeing some 19 play. Scamper and Wide both. I mean, if they're in the Ruby division, then clearly they have managed to have 19 play down to a certain level to be proficient at it enough. And if we can get some competitive 19, then that can be, you know, the difference maker between whether or not this match gets equalized 1-1 or Scamper goes to a 2-0 lead.
Oh, not going to be the Tetris knockdown. Instead, a creative, double burn there with the J to make sure that Scamper's his board is just completely clean. Just waiting for a long bar to come. A small drought, and he had to block up that right side because of it. Meanwhile, Wide is scoring very efficiently on the other side of things. He's going to retake the lead with that Tetris, but Scamper will take it right back.
Yeah, really kind of uncomfortable situation from Scamper there. Didn't necessarily get the most ideal pieces for peak efficiency, but still able to hold on to this lead. Just about up by a Tetris when you take a look at where they are in the game, both, you know, around the same line count. So Scamper still being a bit more efficient than Wide. However, Wide not backing down. All it takes is for Scamper to run into one small mistake, and we're looking at a tie game, potentially even a lead transfer in Wide's favor.
But one Tetris separates the two players. Of course, they are even on lines, so pace definitely not going to change that in any way. Scamper knocks down a Tetris. He's up to 264,000 points, and Wide will follow right back. I think right now both players have proven that they've been able to play really, really good level 18s. It doesn't seem like they're ever phased with different piece sequences or anything like that. They're able to maintain their boards in relatively clean states and make sure that their burns are not super extended.
Yeah, and ooh, we got a dirty left low set up over here, and Wide is actually able to score it and get a right well, taking the lead with that. I mean, Scamper definitely in a position to take it back as he's in the middle of a drought and not necessarily the most comfortable board for it. And oh wow, having to take 5 burns there. Wide takes the lead.
Yeah, it's a 27-piece drought before Scamper finally got that long bar. It did cost him about a Tetris worth of lines, and you can see that Wide on the other side is scoring again exceptionally well. He retakes the lead here, but Scamper, of course, kind of just dead even at this point. It's the second game in a row, Sharky, where we're just neck and neck.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one of the things that, you know, coming into this season, especially, you know, as the organizer and orchestrating this draft and everything, I wanted to do my best to try and make the teams as balanced as possible. And obviously, the captains had their own say in that. The Wavy ones, you know, going for Wide and Smooth as opposed to going for Dylan and other players and that were higher up in the tryouts. You know, I did want to try and make it as balanced as possible, and this is exactly why you get to see matches like this where players can have very competitive 18s, and hopefully we'll see some competitive 19s because, oh man, this is close.
Of course, still 30 lines or so to go before that transition. I'm really interested to see how these players will play on 19. Will they go more aggressive? Will they just decide to play a little bit safer as they, you know, continue to remain close with each other? Because we do have that level 39 line cap for all of our matches today. So we have to make sure that while players, you know, want to stay alive as long as possible, they have to make sure that they are staying efficient with their scoring as well.
Yeah, Scamper is about to get the first ever DAS level 39.
That is true. That is true. Does play a role. I didn't take a look at the hands there.
But we are about to reach the transition, and Wide is actually taking the lead. Scamper had to do a little bit of burning there, kind of cost around a Tetris of efficiency. And, you know, you were talking about, you know, we're wondering how these players are going to do in this level 19 environment that they're about to go into. And it's going to be really curious because, like I said, there was limited prep for this. Players got less than a 24-hour notice. It's like, hey, you guys are playing, get ready.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you can argue about the amount of chemistry that a team needs to play a game like Tetris Gauntlet, where of course it is kind of just individual work. But honestly, I feel like being able to stay in the right mindset with your team is always going to be really important. As you mentioned earlier, Sharky, that's something that has definitely helped teams in the past. And I don't know, we're seeing some good play from both of these players right now. They both transitioned and still are remaining very, very close to each other. Wide is Tetris ready. He's going to knock one down and take the lead one right back from Scamper.
Yeah, 574 to now 564. Scamper, ooh, a little bit of early dash shift. He didn't have enough dash to get the long bar over. Able to hit the quick tap. Still going to be able to survive. But, oh man, that was just a scary chain of events that could have easily resulted in a top out, and we'd be looking at game number 3. Both players are tied here in the set, but Scamper has a lot of digging that's going to have to be done, and Wide, looking basically pristine, can balloon this lead from just 6,000 points to maybe even 100,000 if Scamper's not careful.
Yeah, it was really good for Scamper to get that long bar all the way over to the left side. Of course, with Das on 19 is not the easiest thing to do. We'll see if he gets another one over there. He does. Has to just wait for the right piece sequence, actually, to burn all the way down. He finally has the right well open. We'll take that out here with an L, and is almost out clean, but we're just going to have to wait. And in the meantime, it is Wide, building up rather cleanly, and is Tetris ready once again. Just waiting for another long bar. There it is! And that is another big lead here, but Scamper will answer right back. Somehow, some way, these players remain even here.
Yeah, I was just about to comment on that. Considering Scamper spent almost a couple of levels digging, the fact that Scamper is within 10,000 points, now 40,000 points of Wide, that's tremendous. And, I feel like that's a huge missed opportunity for Wide there.
Just hasn't been able to find the correct pieces to line up the well at the right time. Is Tetris ready once again, but he takes a double right before the long bar ends up coming down. You can see on the screen that he knew that was a bit of a mistake. Meanwhile, Scamper has to just clear one more single out, and he is Tetris ready once again. He's waiting for a long bar, but he's built up rather high. A nice adjustment to keep his stack clean, and he'll knock down a triple to stay within dash range.
Yeah, an amazing quick tap right there for Scamper, but things are far from over. Is JP dependent on the left-hand side? All right. Oh, man, this is really tough. Okay, nice. Able to get that over. Opens up the well. Down by 61,000. Knocks down a Tetris. And, Wide takes the triple. That's going to allow Scamper to have more scoring potential. Knocks down another Tetris and closes the gap to 4,000 points.
Remember that, because with that, it's hard to play on level 29. We're nearing the end here for Scamper. What can Wide do to get back here within striking distance? He actually, on the other side, though, Scamper is built up rather high, just waiting for maybe one last long bar, but it's not going to come. A 13-piece drought to end his game. And I don't know exactly what Wide's score is right now because of the scoring, I guess, max out club bug here, but we're going to have to wait to see if he is safe. But he's going to top out right here. I believe he's good for game number 2, and they are evened up at 1.
That's actually at 8, so it's 855 to now 773, but man, you got to give Scamper props for that one. Amazing survival, and just if the long bar timing was a little bit more friendlier, we might have been looking at an opportunity for Scamper to get back into that game. I mean, time running low, 2 Tetrises remaining, definitely an impressive game for both of them.
And even, I mean, we almost got all the way to 29. We almost went the distance, and both these players just able to play very, very consistently past 19. We saw some really scary situations for Scamper, and he was able to power right past them until that final, drought that he was struck with at just the wrong time on level 27. So, still a very, very close game, and I'm excited. And now, only you have to just win 2 more. It's just basically a best of 3 after that first game goes each player's way.
I mean, we were talking about this a bit, before, we got on the mics. We were saying, how, like, this particular matchup between these 2 finalists is incredibly close. Like, we felt like majority of matches could go to a decider just because how close all these players are in terms of skill. Man, I mean, I wouldn't
be surprised not to see it,
Yeah, we did get our question answered. We wondered how they do on 19, and that was some pretty impressive 19 play, if I do say so myself.
especially for a DAS player like Scamper, of course, just being able to stay consistent. It's 1-1 here in our first match of Gauntlet Ascension. Who's going to take it between Wide and Scamper? We're going to get things started in 3, 2, 1, and Tetris.
There it is. Both players are on the go here. I mean, we already knew that this was going to be an excellent first match, but to see just such strong competitive games, and you know, things could have gotten a lot differently. Wide might have been able to build up, you know, a massive lead, had the opportunity, but that's just, you know, if you're not able to capitalize. Scamper had winning chances. I mean, think about where the entire game would be if Scamper didn't have that one misdrop that happened. I believe that was on like level 21.
Yeah, things could definitely just be looking so different. Just if a little bit went different for each player. But right now, we're back to 18, and this is where we know both players are able to thrive. Once again, Scamper jumping out to about a Tetris lead, but of course, we're basically neck and neck at this point, so you just have to wait to see when players will run into some interesting piece sequences and see how they manage to dig out of the situation.
Yeah. But while these players are stacking, you know, on the topic of, you know, talking about, you know, these players had less than 24 hours to prepare for this match, you know, it's probably going to be, you know, a good while before our next match here. So do you think that other teams are looking at this match and seeing it's like, okay, if we go up against, you know, the Grandmasters and we have to play up against Scamper and Wide, what do you think players or teams in general are going to be actively strategizing to find out the best way to kind of deal with these players? And Wide kind of in a little bit of danger before you answer that question.
Yep, he has a little bit to burn away. About 2 more lines before he's all clean. Either needs an L or a J. There it is. Tetris ready once again and knocks it down. But kind of on that note, Sharky, I mean, both players definitely very consistent, as we've alluded to multiple times. If you're a captain and want to figure out what lineup you want to send out against one of these teams, if you're up against Wide or Scamper, you might not want somebody who, you know, maybe can score a little bit higher but more inconsistent. You probably just want the most you know, even scoring player that you can get, because a little bit of a bad P sequence does not seem to mean much for either of these players so far today.
Yeah, Wide definitely a little bit scary. Now Scamper is the one that's in a scary position, actually going for a little bit of a gamble right there with that T placement, and the gamble does pay off, able to survive. And just, that's one thing, Scamper and survival are basically synonymous with each other in this matchup here. Looking
pretty good. Has to get some burns down in order to score again effectively. Meanwhile, Wide has an opportunity to take the lead once again. Doesn't have the Tetris, but is going to use that long bar to just get himself Tetris ready. Just needs one more to get back into the driver's seat. There it goes. Tetris for Wide, 249,000 points. Scamper finally gets clear and finally will answer back.
Yeah, but, you know, on that topic, I think that, you know, that's going to be one of the big things that's going to be different this season than the previous seasons. I feel like a lot more teams are going to be actively strategizing against each other. I mean, teams are going to want to, you know, try and get a good seed in the playoffs, because we have 10 teams, which means we're not going to have a completely even bracket of 8. We're going to have an elimination spot where you only get to play one round, and winner of that advances to the series. So these teams are definitely, you know, even though it's not as prevalent here in these first few matches of the season, they're definitely going to be actively strategizing and trying to give their team the best chance of success here in Gauntlet Ascension.
Again, just dead even here. And 89 lines here for Wide, 92 for Scamper, so still a little bit of time left on 18. Wide, of course, Tetris ready almost, but blocks up that right side. Scamper has found the opportunity to retake the lead, but Wide is behind on line, so that bodes well for him. He's going to knock one down, bring himself to 370. Scamper answers right back. It just seems like every time one of these players knocks down a Tetris, the other one has the next, you know, has the long bar in their next column with a really good board.
Yeah, but speaking about things being close, we were separated by a single, now 2 singles, and that just goes to show how close these players are. Scamper now does knock down a Tetris, trying to generate some separation, and Wide actually forced to take a triple. And Scamper is looking in a good position as we get closer and closer to level
there's a
19.
Wide just needs a long bar to bail himself out. It comes at just the wrong time once again for him. He will reopen the well, but again blocks it off right with the long bar on its way.
And there's the hat trick.
Decision making. He finally gets one to come down at just the right time. So luckily for him, had a lot of long bars at the ready and was able to use at least one of them for a Tetris.
Yeah, Scamper. 3 Tetrises available for Scamper, and now 3 available for Wide. Can get quite the injection of points here. And Scamper able to hold out. Drought counter did start ticking. Scamper's going to transition at 537. Wide. Looks like the transition in the 400s.
Yeah, he has one more Tetris before he hits over to 19. Scamper has a bit of a hole in his stack, but it should be pretty easy to get himself out of that one. As Wide transitions at about 470k. Still has that right side blocked up. Scamper is now clean and Tetris, almost Tetris ready, but is not going to find it. And actually, that's 2 long bars in a row that weren't being able to use for scores. He finally gets one to knock down. 569k is his score. And Wide, almost Tetris ready. Again, just missing the opportunity to score for what seems like the 4th or 5th time this game.
Yeah, Wide was actually in a very scary situation, managing to get the right pieces to survive, but now Scamper's in a scary situation. Long bar has to come in. There it is. Scamper's going to go ahead and commit to a couple of extra burns, sets up a pretty clever delay T-burn, and just like that, the stack looks completely normal. Nothing ever happened. Scamper was never in trouble, but Wide still having trouble scoring here in the post-transition.
Yeah, Scamper just knocked down another Tetris, so the lead has ballooned quite a bit, about 630k. Wide has not been able to find scoring opportunities past 19 just yet. Has just to do a little bit more burning to get the stack back into a reasonable position. Just waiting for that opportunity, but time is running out very, very quickly. The lead is quickly 150,000 points, and with Scamper opening up that right side again, he will knock down another Tetris to extend the lead even further.
Yeah, Wide has managed to get down to the bottom, opens up a set of holes, and is now in position to start scoring. Going to take one more burn and start building up for the right well. But being down by 179,000 points is a great adjustment right there. Now up down by 212. This is going to be a really tough game for Wide to overcome, especially with time running out in terms of scoring potential.
There's another Tetris for him. He's ready once a long bar comes, but he hangs that, that J over to the right side, but Scamper's going to top out as well. So Wide now has an opportunity. The final score for him to chase down is 727,000 points. We'll see if Wide can do it. He's still on level 24.
Yeah, but this stack is not ideal. Goes for the triple, finding ways to survive. Still has a good amount of time.
He needs to get clean. He needs to get clean as soon as he possibly can. But he's waiting right now. He needs a J to fill up that left side over there to clear up the stack. Transition over to level 26. Lead now 124,000. A reminder, 727 is the score that he needs to beat. The long bar going to be very useful to open up that double. And we're so close to Wide being able to score once again. There it is.
Yeah, 3 Tetrises in change will allow for the chase down. And with a board like this, oh no!
Oh no, there's a hang. Okay, so that's not good either. That's more cleanup that Wide has to do. And the bars, the line count is continuing to just pile up. He might have to go for a center well to keep himself in contention here. He has it set up. Will the long bar come in time? A nice tuck as well, but now the drought coming at just a really unfortunate timing. He gets a Tetris in. It's 58,000 points. He needs 2 more to take the game.
Oh! He can't burn another line, or he's going to have to set up for 1 extra, and he's not getting good oh, wait! Hold on, that's the perfect solution! Maybe, just maybe, no! Makes the misdrop!
There's one.
Oh, no, but there... I don't think there's a way! It's not possible!
Yes, one more Tetris. There's the 29. He's going to transition onto the kill screen and top out. It was so close for the chase down come through, but Wide ends just 21,000 points short, and Scamper takes game 3 and is at match point.
Man, that is so tough. I mean, it was there, it was possible, but those misdrops in the last 3 levels were just so unfortunate. I mean, at one point, it looked like everything was fine. You know, the board was ideal, had plenty of time to burn, and then just a misdrop just kept on prolonging the ability to score.
It seemed like Wide was playing a really good game, but just never was able to set up his stack in the perfect position when the long bar came past level 19. We saw, you know, times where there was only 3 high in column 9, or times where unfortunately set up a delayed burn at just the wrong time. If some of those scores were able to come through and some of the Tetrises were able to come down, I mean, it was a 38% Tetris rate. That's something that's not necessarily a score that Scamper is super, you know, that Wide is super familiar with. So I'm very, very excited to see if he's just able to, you know, get a little bit of a better go around. I think that he has an opportunity to send us to a decider.
Yeah, but he's going to have to get it figured out because he's out of chance if Scamper is 1 badge away from bringing the Grandmasters up 1-0 here in the match, or in the team match rather. But it definitely is possible. But once we got it ready from Wide, we do got it ready from Scamper, so we are just about set to go here.
Scamper has played pretty well so far. Of course, the first game, due to disconnect, is obviously, you know, a slight asterisk, but a good game from him nonetheless. But this was definitely a hard-fought victory for him. Was able to stack up the points high enough, even though he topped out a little bit earlier than he probably would have liked to, it was enough for him to take that game. So just being able to play consistently and score effectively has been what has helped Scamper out so far.
Yeah, but both players have given us the ready. We are going to go ahead and get them counted down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And Wide, there it is. Had a little bit of a delay there, but should be fine.
Might mean a little bit of a you know, line count lead for Scamper maybe, but that's not going to matter too much.
Yep. And you know, it's really hard to, you know, because Wide knows what needs to be done. I mean, Wide had a amazingly successful game in game number 2 where he was able to equalize the set at the time 1-1. So Wide knows what needs to be done in level 19. And level 18, we've seen them, both players, be quite comparable with each other throughout majority of this set. So if Wide could just channel essentially that game 1, that game 2 on 18, and the game 2 on 19, then I definitely think there is a good chance we see a decider here.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's just being able to clean up and make sure that the delayed burns aren't too delayed. And I think it's hard, obviously, to be able to make some pretty massive micro adjustments when you see a long bar coming up in your next box. But I mean, that was kind of a difference maker there. It seemed like even though Wide knew the long bar was coming, like the move was already kind of premeditated, and it was hard for him to move out of that, especially on a speed as high as level 19.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, that's one of the things that do separates, you know, some players' skill sets. Like a good player that comes to mind was back in the first season, player known as Ruins or Richie. One of the things that made him so strong for the Sparks and Minos when he played then, and even when you talk about CTWC, was just his affinity and just natural ability to nail and find adjustments. And when you have players like that, you know, it's definitely possible that, you know, you can see those kind of situations be won by sheer efficiency. And speaking about efficiency, let's take a look at Wide here. We said what Wide needed to do in order to bring us to a decider, and that's exactly what Wide is doing right now.
Yeah, you remember that he was playing from behind basically the entire time, not just after, of course, Scamper started scoring really well off of 19, but he transitioned about 100,000 points behind or so, just due to some unfortunate fish sequences that he got. But nearing a 90% Tetris rate for Wide is absolutely incredible right now. Scamper, of course, not playing too bad of a game of his own, but he's already down 100,000 points.
Yeah, and it looks like Scamper just had a little bit of a rough situation, cost a lot of lines, and you know, generally whenever you run into a dig, you know, majority of the time your opponent, they're not going to be able to balloon a lead like that. But we're talking about Wide right now playing at almost peak efficiency ever since like the opener, and truly, that's a scary thing. You know, you get into a dig, you finally get out, and you're like, all right, let me, check in on my opponent. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm down by 111,000 points.
Of course, we've seen Scamper be able to stack well on 18 and on 19 as well. The problem is, of course, when as a DAS player on 19, you have to just be so careful. Can't play as aggressive as, of course, a tapper or a roller would be able to. So getting a lot of points in on 18 has definitely been a strategy that Scamper would probably like to go for, but obviously that has not, unfortunately for him, been the case so far.
Yeah, 304 to now 394. Scamper still down by around this 100 and kind of anywhere from 90,000 to 100,000 point deficit. And that's actually a couple of rough decisions over there from Scamper. There's definitely a more efficient way to handle that, and that could have given Wide an opportunity to balloon this lead up to 150,000 points.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna actually just use the L to kind of do a bit of a delayed double off of a hole over there, but instead it was the decision to fill up the column 3 to 5 area instead, and that means that, of course, just falling a little bit behind again in terms of efficiency. And look at Wide's score right now, 88% Tetris rate. I mean, this is just incredible stuff, especially after having a game where he wasn't even able to break 450,000 points after onto the transition. He's already at that mark and still has 30 lines to go.
Yeah, we're looking at a pretty high 500 here. I mean, about to have 500 going into the 100 line mark, so we could be seeing our first 600k transition of the season on Wide's end, and that's just bad news to hear if you're Scamper.
Yeah, a 50% Tetris rate is nothing to scoff at. I mean, it's, of course, not necessarily the most efficient game, but it's not like Scamper has been playing terrible in any way. It's just Wide has really put things into a different gear here for game number 4. He's gonna knock down a Tetris and take that lead to about 140,000 points. Just 3 more Tetrises available for him until he reaches level 19, until he gets to that transition, and we'll see what he can do from there.
Yeah, but we are about to reach that transition here. A couple more burn lines, and that's going to send us into there. And as a matter of fact, Scamper's going to transition 443 Wide. Oh, man, this is scary.
I mean, it could be 650 if he gets one more Tetris here. He's Tetris ready. A 650 transition here in our first series of Gauntlet Ascension is certainly nothing to scoff at. That's a 200,000 point lead for him at level 19. I mean, Scamper's going to need an early top out from Wide and a miracle if he wants to take this series in 4.
I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean, we're talking about, this is something you expect to see out of the Captains or the Transcendents. We are only in the Ruby division right now. And for someone to pull off a 650, absolutely insane. But, Wide does need to be a little bit careful. Can't let that high efficiency on 18 translate into a low efficiency and low survival on 19, because Scamper is now starting to make a little bit of comeback in terms of points.
Yeah, I mean, the efficiency has maybe dwindled a little bit, but Scamper has been kind of putting the gas on a bit here in this post-transition. Only, the lead has gone from about 200,000 to, 133k, and of course still has a lot of ground to make up. But right now, Wide has a little bit of burning to do on his end. Needs to get something over to the left. Has a Tetris as well.
Scamper.
But now Scamper on the other side is going to top out. He just wasn't able to get that long bar in time. And Wide was going to take us to a decider in our first series of Gauntlet Ascension.
We knew it was going to happen. It's just a matter of when in this match it was going to happen. And honestly, this could be a top score for Wide. It's 824 right now here on at the end of level 23.
Yeah, I believe his PV is 1.128 million. So, of course, still has to continue to play well past these next couple of lines. But I mean, it's possible. It's in the running right now.
Yeah. Just has to play disciplined there. And it's going to be a little bit difficult, so going to have to pick up the efficiency.
There it is. We just gotta wait for the 3 to turn into an 8 once again. But he's around 900k at level 25, so definitely in a good spot to at least hit a max out. But we'll see how much further he can push this game.
Ooh, oh my gosh, getting that piece all the way over to the left. Oh man, oh, converting the dependency.
Okay, there's another Tetris, 934. Still level 26, so there's some room.
Yeah, the 1.1 likely not to happen unless we do see some 29 shenanigans. It is doable.
Yeah, we're gonna need some really efficient play from Wide as well. He is Tetris ready and will knock that down. 975. So yeah, again, 1.1 probably not in reach, but we can get close.
Hold on, one burn. It's not gonna be a PB, but one burn for 1.1. Oh no, that's gonna.
Oh no. Well, it is a max out. So that's
yeah, first max out of the season. I mean,
there we go.
What a way to actually make your first debut here, since they didn't play any matches last season. First match of the, out of 2 seasons, and able to get a max out in Game 4 when you needed it the most. Wait. Nah, they're not gonna try and set up.
Well played from Wide. Of course, ending that game with a max out. With Scamper transitioning about 350k, it would have been very, very hard for him to try to come back from that anyway. So, good game, well played from him, but we have a decider, Sharky. Our first matchup between the Wavey ones and the Grandmasters, and it's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something. I mean, we've had the good game from Scamper, we've had a great game from Wide. The question is, can Wide follow up that great game with another great game? And because, anytime you get a good game like that, it's easy to get nervous. And even though we're just in the beginning of the season, these players are under a lot of pressure, because it's not just the pressure to win this decider, it's the pressure to give their team the advantage. And I can speak from what I've seen in Gauntlet, that team pressure surely does awaken a different beast.
Looks like Scamper is ready, so is Wide. One more game between our Ruby players. Let's get this decider started in 3, 2, 1. Tetris.
Nice little JL start over there from Scamper. And an OL start over there from Wide. So some pretty good pieces, ideal pieces that you'd actually would like to start off with. Nothing like a, a ST start or something like that.
Sharky, as somebody who's played competitive for, of course, many years, does the blood start pumping a little bit harder when you get to the Game 5, the decider, the one final match? I mean, what are some things that are going through these players' minds right now?
I mean, I think on 18 it's mostly lax until they get into a situation that could almost end their game. But on 19, you're definitely going to start feeling the pressure, especially, as we're commentating over. I predict that Scamper is listening to the commentary Wide, in the, Wavey One's Team VC. It's definitely possible that, as they hear that, man, my opponent is right here neck and neck with me, it's going to be, really impressive to see how both of these players are going to manage. Scamper has been put in these situations before, so I think it's going to be a little bit better at handling the nerves, but Wide has also been kind of relaxed throughout this entirety of the match. So we'll just have to see as the game continues to progress.
Yeah, Scamper has only burned 1 line so far in this opening, so that Tetris rate at a pristine amount here with 96%. Wide, of course, not playing a shabby game of his own, but he's taken a couple of burns and now run into a drought. Has to use a triple there with the L before knocking down a Tetris, but Scamper, of course, still playing good, but he's going to run into a drought of his own.
Yeah, had to take a triple there, so now has 4 burn lines in total. But anytime you get 200,000 at 40 lines, that is what is considered a great opener. And Wide not having necessarily a bad game. 66% Tetris rate isn't bad. I mean, they say that you need 60% to max. But when your opponent is at 90% Tetris rate, it's really just hard to kind of combat that early on. But right now, Scamper's having to combat a small drought.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about it is we haven't even seen Wide really make any mistakes at all here in this game either. I mean, the Tetris rate not at a necessarily bad spot, but already a 62,000 point deficit that he's gonna have to climb himself out of. Scamper, of course, just Tetris ready there with the J coming down into that well. and is gonna just wait for another one to come in here. There it is. He's gonna get himself up to 285,000, 60K in front here in the decider.
Oh man, this is a little bit of a tougher situation for Wide. Does get the eyepiece fill in one long bar dependency and creates another. And another eyepiece comes. Can we get the hat trick? Probably would want that right now. Unfortunate. Scamper just barely surviving that situation too, and gets the eyepiece for the flat burn, uncovering that hole on the left side.
I don't know. I feel like if I was playing, you know, not of course that I'm good at all, I would have just taken the double Tetris. But Scamper, of course, prioritizing a clean board. Always love to see it, and it's not gonna matter too much for him anyway because he's gonna knock down a Tetris on his own. 110,000 points is the lead here for our Grandmasters Ruby player. And Wide, of course, still has to continue to play efficiently. Scamper has, relented a little bit in terms of pace, but he's still very much in the lead.
Yeah, right now, Scamper is actually having to run into like the first real trouble that we've seen. And as far as where players are in terms of pace, they've equalized a lot. Scamper actually going to commit to the row 2 here. Really going to try and suppress Wide's momentum as much as possible. And he's, oh wow, going for the aggressive L placement is going to pay off as well. And oh no!
Oh, I think it was a screen freeze again from Wide. You can see that he's just kind of disappointed. I don't know exactly how that actually went down, but it was a very similar situation to what we saw in game 1. Of course, not the way that you potentially want this series to end. We'll see what the official decision is here.
Yeah, I mean, things were looking, so good. Wide brought the game back, and we were separated by 3 Tetrises at one point, and man, that's just really tough situation. I mean, I'm gonna leave the call up to Scamper. If Scamper wants to replay it, then I'll allow it. But
yeah, I mean, of course, it was like a 100K deficit at that point, but you can see already that Wide was pretty behind on lines as well. So he had the ground to make things up, but I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what we'll be seeing out of here. But Wide has typed GG in the chat. He might be just being willing to give this one up here for the Wavey ones.
I mean, you did have the lead, Scamper. I mean, I don't have a coin on my desk. Rewatch it, Sharky? Wait, what am I rewatching? Ah, yes. Wide was not in a bad situation before the crash, actually. It was Tetris ready. Wide was Tetris ready, and then it just, that's when it froze.
There's the Google, flip a coin search you could do.
Well, it seems like Wide does say it is fine with Scamper taking that. When these kind of situations do happen in Gauntlet, though, I do like to take it case by case because it is different situations. Yeah, this also happened in game 1, but all right. Well, Wide said it's fine with it, so Scamper does take game 5. Not the way we wanted to see it end, but overall, Wide did make a statement today with the play, and I can't wait to see how they continue to perform throughout the season.
Yeah, it's important to remember that this is just the first round of what's going to be a double round robin for our team, so we'll have a lot of different opportunities to see Wide and maybe Wide and Scamper even play against each other once more. But it is unfortunate to see him go out in that fashion. Of course, Wide was playing a very good game, but it will be the Wavey ones, or sorry, the Grandmasters taking the first game.
And we're going to get our next 2 players up, which is going to be Kingsman and Mari. So do stay tuned for that. But of course, Grapes, is there anything you would like to shout out? Like maybe your Twitter?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Speedy Grapes. I post a lot of League of Legends content, as that is another game that I do a lot of commentary in. But I mean, I've been a long time fan, first time, I guess, commentator, maybe third time commentator now of Tetris, of Classic Tetris. So I'm always in the loop of what's going on, and it's been fun to dip my toes into this competitive scene. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Ways. There you go. We have our little badge to indicate that Scamper did in fact win that match, as you can see on the screen. But we'll be back shortly after we get these 2 players up and running. Which actually might not take too long. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are finishing. Actually, the technical issues just got solved.
Let's go.
That
It's just having our voices on just saves everything. You know what I mean?
yeah. So we're gonna head over
goodness.
and watch Kingsman versus Mario. They were getting their warm ups here, and oh, look at this face from Kingsman. The sheer face of determination as he tops out.
It's okay. He's just getting the vibes ready. It's gonna be a fun matchup. See, he's saying something. We can't hear him. We can't hear you, Kingsman, but he seems fired up, ready to go.
Yeah, it'd be amazing if more players just did this like Kingsman. He's like, look, I'm the only one Tetris player, all right? You're not gonna beat me. Do you know who you talk to? You talking about King here? I am King. You don't stand a chance. You see, I'm a Grandmaster, right? I'm gonna take you out. Not even gonna get one single game. So you better be scared, all right?
It's one of those bad lip readings.
Yeah.
Oh man, good stuff. Well, this is our diamond player matchup. Of course, we had the Grandmasters take that first series with Scamper defeating Wide in a 3-2. Very exciting matchup between them. And now we have King versus Mari here with our diamonds. The Grandmasters, if Kingsman is able to take the win, he will send the Grandmasters to just one, to just a kind of a match point in a way with a 2-0 lead.
Oh man. That was fun. But you know what's gonna be even more fun? Getting started with this match. Both of these players are ready. Go ahead and give us the countdown, Grapes.
All right, Mari versus Kingsman. Wavy one's trying to even up the series against the Grandmasters. 3, 2, 1, Tetris.
I gotta get that finger bang from Kingsman to a GIF.
If there's anyone in chat who is good at making those GIFs, we could have it in our ClassicTetris Gauntlet Discord as well.
Yeah, get another King sticker there. We already got one hot King sticker. You know, I'm down for another one. See, that's gonna be the benefit for you doing, you know, crazy stuff while on camera. You get a sticker or even an emote made of you in Gauntlet, forever immortalized until I decide to remove it. All
right, well, let's take a look at what's going on here. Both players basically identical in terms of points right now. Kingsman is Tetris ready. We'll wait for the long bar to come through, but I think this actually is going to be a very, very tight matchup. I mean, Mari, they had a bit of a better qualifier period, the 524,000 point average, but Kingsman has that maxed out as well. So, and it is as a player that is, of course, very well known in the scene, and should be a fun matchup, of course, if the personality is able to show again as well later.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but you know, Kingsman as a player has been here in Gauntlet since the very first season back in 2019. He's one of the actual Gauntlet OGs, and you know, recently has been making a tear in the ClassicTetris monthly scene, winning, you know, multiple community level tournaments. I believe he has 3 or 4 of them under his belt, which, I mean, being able to win a tournament in ClassicTetris, you know, that's already, you know, one massive achievement. But to win multiple in, you know, a single event, you know, CTM, yeah, Kingsman right up there set 4, and has also won some stuff in ClassicTetris Latam as well. So has the competitive experience to back up, you know, that max out as well.
Max out another Tetris, just needs one more L or long bar now to get himself Tetris ready again. Mari's stacked up rather high. He's gonna need a long bar to come sooner rather than later. We'll burn a triple there with the L. And just kind of encountering a drought, a bit of an unfortunate time. We'll see how long it takes for the scoring to come through again.
Yeah, you know, on the topic about Mari, because, you know, I did just talk a lot about Kingsman. This is actually Mari's debut in Gauntlet. Oh, no! And that's going to do it. Mari tops out at 180, but Kingsman's not good. Kingsman, you need 181. One Tetris will do it.
He's set up, but also encountering a drought. There it is. Knocks it down. First game goes to Kingsman. A 31-piece drought to open Mari's first ever Gauntlet game. You hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, first match. That's that's actually the Gauntlet curse for. Oh my gosh, for any of the OG players, like the Gauntlet curse has been broken by very few people. But the Gauntlet curse is that in your debut, you're either gonna have like an early top out for your first game, or you're gonna lose your first match. It's affected so many players, it's actually ridiculous.
Saw Kingsman had the ice cream set up as well. So you can tell he's well energized for this matchup. Takes the first game of the series.
Yeah, making sure his blood sugar levels are stable.
Just gotta make sure he's all pepped up, ready to go.
Anyways, here we're going 3, 2, 1, Tetris. There's a lot of things that are like, they happen in Gauntlet. I mean, it's just like you see it happen so much more in Gauntlet. I mean, we've seen it a bit today. I mean, Gauntlet droughts. Droughts are always the worst on Gauntlet. The worst drought we've seen on Gauntlet, and this was like before the season matches started. We saw a 92-piece drought.
92?
Yeah, 92.
Oh my goodness, that's the. I mean, is that the longest? Is that the longest drought of all time?
Not of all time, but it was close there. I mean, Harry Hong now holds that. I think he got a 100-piece drought.
Oh my god!
Like just a couple days ago.
You know, records can still be broken no matter how long you've been playing. Just the RNG. That's what we love about this game. Yeah, the RNG.
Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship. I mean, I wouldn't wish a 100-piece drought on my worst opponent, unless it was standing between me and like $300 or something. But so far, things opening up little precarious for Kingsman. Love to get an IPs, go for that split triple. Well, not anymore. But Mari holding on to a small advantage here, up by 29,000 points.
The efficiency just been a little bit better for Mari so far in this game. Of course, you hope that they don't run into any unfortunate droughts. As I say that, I'm at a commentary curse a little bit. There it goes. The counter is going to start to rise up. We'll see how they'll be able to clear this one out. There's a long bar to open up that column, but going to have to fill it in once again. Meanwhile, Kingsman is pretty clean and is working his way towards scoring a Tetris.
Ooh, those pieces for Mari are actually a bit tough to deal with. All right, that J piece is going to help out a lot, but is multiple J and L dependent. Finding ways to navigate through that left side. What is Mari holding out for? Okay, wow, look at this navigation from Mari. Still not the easiest to deal with. Oh, that's a perfect I piece. Oh, wow, the piece combination is sublime. Look at that. Mari is going to be in a more survivable position. Better yet, I'm going to say it, Mari's going to survive. Kingsman only able to build up a 6,000 point lead.
Yeah, now Kingsman stacked up rather high as well. Encountered an 18-piece drought. Mari's clean again. Let's wait for the long bar to come through, because what a cleanup that was from Mari. Just perfect piece placement to make sure that the well stayed open. There it is, a Tetris for Mari, and it's still a very close game. Only about 2.5 Tetrises are separating these two players.
Yeah, see the emotion with the fist pump there from Mari. And I mean, after you just got out of a dig like that, I mean, think about what Mari's going through. You know, first game ever on Gauntlet, early tops out. Second game, you're nearing another early top out with only a couple of rows to work with. And just to have the mental fortitude to, really bunker down and survive that and stay within, 1 to 2 Tetris range within Kingsman, a veteran here in the Gauntlet format. I mean, that's, that in of itself is commendable on Mari's end.
Opens up that well again. Tetris rate pretty close for both of these players right now. Mari's only 3,000 points behind though at this point. Of course, Kingsman will answer right back with another Tetris as well. So still Kingsman in the lead. Mari kind of I think wishes that that piece placement was not where it actually ended up being. But we'll have a long bar dependency to fill in, and there's another Tetris. It will be 315k for Mari in their second ever competitive game, or Gauntlet game.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about Gauntlet, you are talking about just a completely new environment. Because, I mean, whenever you're playing for yourself in something, it's just yourself. But whenever you're playing for a team, you're not just playing for yourself. Obviously, you want to win the game, but now you got your team counting on you, especially in the situation that the Wavey ones are in. Mari has to win this to avoid any kind of like Mercy Rule 3-0 potential and to kind of give Sidnev a equal chance up against SV. So there is a lot of pressure on Mari here.
Yeah, of course, winning this series for Kingsman would mean that for the Wavey ones to come back, they would need their next 2 series to go their way, and then win the sudden death on top of it. So getting a win here would definitely be really, really good. But right now, the Grandmasters are in the lead for the moment. Mari has to clear things out. That's a nice J triple clear on the left side to open up the well. Not Tetris ready just yet, but Kingsman certainly is. There it is, Tetris for Kingsman. We're nearing that transition, about 10 lines to go for both of our players. They can each get 2 or 3 more before 19.
Yeah, and both players are going to score one nice Simul Tetris right there. Mari waiting on now just a long bar. It's going to transition at 465. Kingsman at 510. I mean, what a strong transition for Kingsman here. Opening match of the season. We're looking at a potential 530. If the long bar comes, and it does. 535 transition for King.
Wow, what a great matchup that we have here in game 2. I mean, both players stacking pretty well right now. Mari, despite having that initial kind of difficult cleanup, is only a couple Tetrises behind still, but hasn't been able to close the gap very much. Kingsman has had a really solid game. Nice mini adjustment as Mari gets the long bar all the way over to jump up to over 500k and gets another Tetris on top of it as well.
Yeah, Kingsman had a little bit of a rough hang on 19, but is able to recover, and it's now both players are back in the scoring position, separated by 1 Tetris. Mari is Tetris ready. Kingsman still trying to get the board under control, and that Tetris for Mari is going to allow Mari to take the lead. Is a level ahead though, so Kingsman with more scoring potential just needs to get into scoring position.
Yeah, Mari has really turned things up to a new level here. Post 19 has found a brilliant opportunities for Tetrises. Is set up again and will knock another one down. The lead has suddenly ballooned to 53k in their favor. Kingsman will respond though with another Tetris, almost Tetris ready once again. And now Mari has some cleaning up to do.
Kingsman now gets set up for a Tetris. Would love to get that long bar sooner than later because that left side is now looking dangerous. And there's the long bar. Kingsman actually going to be able to survive. If the long bar didn't come within a certain amount of time, that would have been a destinus for Kingsman. And that Tetris actually equalized. We are now separated by less than 2,000 points here. Going into level 24 for Mari.
They had 3 long bar dependencies and only got 1 long bar to fill it in. So that's a lot of holes that are going to have to be cleaned up right now. Of course, with only a few more lines to go before level 29. I don't think it's going to happen. The long bar does not go all the way over to the left side, and Kingsman just barely is ahead at the time of the top out. And so with 644,000 points, that will be game number 2 going the way of the vet.
Yeah. Sorry, there was an accidental badge on Mari's end. Was not supposed to be there. But yeah, Kingsman, game number 2. And, on Mari's end, that was a hard-fought game. We talked about there was this situation where Mari almost topped out, but also, Mari kind of took the game into their own hands there, playing such good 19 up until around that level 23 mark. And Kingsman, the survival. I mean, if we're learning something about the Grandmasters today, is that they can survive.
It's been really fun to see the different digs and different puzzles that all these players have been able to solve so far. I mean, I don't know about you, Sharky. I know that you're a pretty good Tetris player yourself, but if I was in that situation, if I was in some of these situations, it'd be pretty early outs for me. So it's really impressive to watch.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about especially I think that's it's gonna wear off eventually. But you know, you're talking about players that are debuting in Gauntlet. You might know how they play in other scenes, but in Gauntlet, it's a different beast. Certain players, they actually play better than they do in other competitions in Gauntlet. And you know, Mari, first time, you don't know what to expect. You don't know if they're gonna have, you know, amazing stellar games where you're gonna have to take it to 29 every time just to win, or if they're gonna have, you know, a lot of games similar to what we saw in game 1. And I think Kingsman's got a good handle on this. Can we see a sweep here, or is Mari gonna extend the set? Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris.
See Kingsman pushing down the first couple of lines. Yeah, you've seen situations where ties have happened. I mean, it just kind of just ensures that that won't be the case. But
I remember you and I, we did a mock commentary together, and I put on that game between Ian and Jerpy Dude back from Season Ignition, where they tied into 29, and Jerpy won just by one single that they managed to just barely get.
Yeah.
That was before the roller era too, so there was like no guarantee of like 29 extra, 29 points being scored on the 29 speeds.
it's a different game, of course, now, but I mean, it's always fun to see a little push down. I know Sidnev does that as well, just to make sure that nothing gets just like weird situations here. But generally, that's not normally the case, but we'll see. On the other hand, we take a look at this game. I mean, Mari, once again, setting up really nicely. 84% Tetris rate so far just through the first 20 lines. So been able to score very efficiently. And Kingsman, of course, has had a couple of cleanups to do, as you can see right here. Not having a perfect well to start scoring yet, but Mari is Tetris ready.
Yeah, Mari off to a pretty good start here. Kingsman was trying to make the center well work and got a really untimely J piece. If the J piece wasn't received, Kingsman would have been able to score the center well with no problem, but that one J piece caused Kingsman to burn quite a bit of lines. And so, and this is going to be behind in the early goings. This is where we're going to really see how Mari can handle the pressure of needing to win games. The two games that each player is given, you know, Mari has already used up those two. And speaking about using up things, Kingsman right now might be using up one of his games right now.
Interesting adjustment to send that square all the way to the left. It kind of just creates a flatter playing board for him to burn maybe a little bit more efficiently here. Still on 18 speed, so able to have, you know, some good piece sequences, and he'll be able to get out of this trouble. Is in an 18 to now 20 piece drought, but actually might end up working out for him, because just at the right time he clears out the right side and he'll knock one down.
Yeah, Grandmasters really showing that they are masters of their craft, and that craft is surviving. But Mari has been able to take advantage. Each dig comes with a cost. You got to pay for them shovels, and Kingsman paid the price of a 95,000 deficit.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how much of a comeback Kingsman is able to have. He had a good, you know, a good transition back in game 2, of course, but or maybe it was game 1, but actually no, it was game 2, because game 1 was the early top out. But of course, having to deal with some burn situations, doesn't have a really good way out of this other than maybe just burning things all the way down. So will still be some time until Kingsman is able to score, and you can see that Mari clearly taking advantage of it, up 130,000 points.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's what Mari has to do. You know, we saw this happen with Wide up against Scamper when Scamper had like a 2-level dig on 19. Ooh, amazing adjustment over there for Mari. Really efficient. Nice double Tetris over there for Kingsman. But we saw, you know, with Wide versus Scamper, Scamper got into a 2-level dig on 19, and Wide was unable to capitalize and build up a lead, and actually led to Wide losing that particular game. And so Mari did good on capitalizing, but now, oh man, this could get dangerous.
Mari might need to get bailed out just a little bit here. A nice single, and now just needs an L or a J. We'll get the long bar instead. That works out just fine as well. Just the pieces are coming in, and they weren't enough for him to deal with there here. Kingsman can knock down another Tetris. Lead is 112k for Mari still, but is not out of the woods just yet. See how they'll be able to clear up that right side and start scoring.
Yeah, double J dependent while up this high. Okay, there's the eyepiece. Now eyepiece dependent on the left side.
On the left.
That's not good. Oh, nice. Able to get that over. Burn a triple. Burn a single. Opens up the well. Tetris ready. Not going to go for the triple there. Takes the double. Amazing survival by Mari. Where's the long bar? 25-piece draw. Misses the T-spin. Ah! Long bar come. Two long bars.
I think that wouldn't have been the double Tetris, but man, just unfortunate timing right there for Mari. It's allowed Kingsman to actually be able to come back just a little bit. But great survival out of Mari regardless. Of course, going to knock that Tetris down, extend the lead to 80,000 points, but Kingsman was able to take a lot of that time and start scoring on his own. 60,000's not too bad of a deficit to get through. And with this Tetris, of course, he'll have 3 more before heading into that transition.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about, 60,000 deficit. Kingsman was down by almost 150,000, so cut the deficit by more than half. Mari's going to transition. Kingsman also going to follow that up. 427 transition. Mari, kind of a questionable situation here. Needs to be careful. Alright, that's good.
Is Tetris ready once more? Just waiting for the long bar once again, but now in a bit of a weird spot. Nice little tap there to get the long bar all the way over to the left side. Once again, is Tetris ready? Kingsman has been able to continue to close the gap, though. As soon as Mari's Tetris ready, always somehow has that well cleared up. Finally, we'll be able to knock that one down. 510,000 to 445. Kingsman now maybe in a bit of trouble as well.
Yeah, Kingsman, you can... Oh, that is a tough hang. Alright, Kingsman able to get that over. Now it's Kingsman's turn to dig. Nicely done. Love to get an O-piece here. Did not have enough dazzle on that T-piece. Now Kingsman could be in some trouble. Not able to do any rotations and no burns. Kingsman's going to top it at 454. Mari keeps the set alive and takes game number 3.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it was just the ability for Mari to stay alive on that really, really tough dig. Right before the transition ended up happening. I think if, of course, they ended up topping out, Kingsman probably would have been able to take the game, but congratulations, Mari, first win of Gauntlet Ascension, first win of Gauntlet. I don't think Kingsman is too phased, though, with the loss. What are you seeing here, Sharky?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I had to give you that one game. My ice cream was starting to melt here. So, I had to let you get one game in. But one game's all you're gonna get. That's your Kingsman translator right there.
I feel like you're doing a good job. I'm like 90% sure that those are the exact words. Ooh.
Yeah, there's the ooh. All right, we do have it ready from King. Doing the imaginary bench press right there. Now we got it ready from Mari. Why don't you count us down, Grapes, to game number 4.
Down 2-0. Mari suddenly has the chance to take this to a decider. Send the Wavy ones back to an even scoreline. 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Let's get things going in game 4.
This is a really tough situation for King, and kind of a lot of what happened in that previous match was King actually did a lot more conservative placements upon entering transition, and you can kind of see like King was looking for Mari to make the mistakes on the post-transition, because that's where majority of the games that have gone in King's favor in this set have been because of Mari making mistakes, and so Kingsman definitely certain placements on 19 were banking on Mari to make a mistake and then comfortably chase it down with plenty of runway. But Mari's showing that that might not necessarily be the case in these upcoming games, or maybe potentially 2 games that we do get a decider.
Kingsman out to a very early lead. Mari will knock a Tetris down to cut it to basically a neck-and-neck status, but unfortunately not in the greatest position to score, while Kingsman certainly is. Does burn the triple, but will get the Tetris down to extend to almost 100,000 points. Mari just about to become clear once again on that right side. And we'll be able to start stacking once again.
No, Tetris for Kingsman. Both players clean stack. Kingsman up to a 61,000 point lead. Going to translate to, well, now 37,000. So just under a 2 Tetris lead for Kingsman. And, you know, this is exactly what you want if you're Kingsman. You know, last game, Kingsman didn't necessarily have the best 18. Was able to make a comeback because Mari had that. Oh, that is a concerning hang. Long bar dependent in the center. But good pieces for the most part. And oh no.
Oh, another hang though. That's not good. Needs a long bar soon to bail them out. No, an early top out once again. Oh, so unfortunate. Just one little hang there for Mari, but they're gonna top out very early on at 88,000 points. Kingsman already very far ahead and will take this game and send the Grandmasters up 2-0.
Yeah, now we're talking about a very scary situation here. Shoala is going to have to win up against Wallband in order to prevent a mercy rule. But, I mean, this just is an overall negative situation for the Wavy ones because they have to win their next 2 in order to bring in a sudden death. And Kingsman right now, he's saying, who do you think you are? You don't mess with the king. I rep the Grandmasters. I am the Grandmasters. You get out of here. Wavy ones, you didn't stand a chance. There's the door. Get out of my house, man.
We need to make this like a YouTube series of just like trying to decipher what Kingsman is saying.
Yo,
still eating the ice cream. It's so melted. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh no. Oh, avert the eyes.
Come on, man.
Wow. Kingsman, of course, a showman first, a Tetris player second. Congratulations to him as he takes game number 4 of this matchup. And hey, shout out to Mari as well. First competitive series here in the Classic Tetris Gauntlet. A very different environment than any other competitive scene. And we hope to see more out of them and the rest of the Wavy ones as we continue to move on here.
Oh, man. Oh, that was fun. We are experiencing some technical difficulties, so please bear with us while we try and get these issues resolved. Thank you. Alright, we're almost done resolving the technical difficulties. Just please bear with us a little bit longer. While we continue to troubleshoot, if you are interested on learning more about Classic Tetris Gauntlet, finding out how you can join for the mid-season draft, which happens on May 29th, or rather registration ends for that on May 29th, then be sure to check out that link tree that has all of Gauntlet's socials, invites to the Discord and everything. So yeah, just please bear with us. We are still trying to figure out this small calibration issue. All right. It looks like we got it to work. By the looks of things here. So we're gonna see things do look fine. Now we just need a camera from Wallband. But coming into this, yeah. And even like my green screen is looking kind of trash right now. But coming into this match, I mean, there's going to be a lot of pressure in Trala, but who do you think is going to come out on top?
Oh, it's a tough one here. It's our transcendent rank matchup. Of course, the Grandmasters have the momentum on their side. Sharky, you're telling me how, you know, the actual momentum when in a team environment, like maybe makes some of these players play better. So I'd be excited to see Wallband really put up a good showing. I'm looking at some of the stats. I find it interesting that despite having that 1.4 PB, Wallband's qual average was only 500k. So I'm very interested to see why that was the case. I know obviously it's just 10 games, so it's a small sample size, but it's pretty interesting. It's a definitely something to look at.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also that kind of same thing that has allowed players like Wallband and like Anpu and like Hydra to like fly under the radar, and now you have, you know, the potential for these captains to pick up a player with just super strong potential throughout the later season of Gauntlet.
Yeah, we got both players ready. Let's go.
Yeah, here it is. A do or die situation for the Wavy ones. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris.
You're gonna need to transition me over, Sharky, on our end here, but it's a very fun matchup here. Of course, our highest level of player before, of course, we get to the captain's match that will happen after this, but still the chance for the Wavy ones to try and come back here. They are down 0-2, but if they can take this match, and of course if Sidnev can come through after that for the team, can still have the opportunity for sudden death. So we'll see if Chalala is able to kind of fight some of the bad vibes maybe that came from those first 2 series and come back and start to turn this game around.
I mean, when you actually, you know, we talked about this in the beginning, how these two teams were finalists, losing, of course, you know, to the 2-time champs, the Millionaires. But one thing that both of these two teams have in common is perseverance. The Grandmasters in the first series up against the Millionaires in the finals in a season ignition were down 3-0, and they brought it all the way back to a 3-3 and ended up losing in the finals. And the Wavy ones in this past season, they managed to, they were down 2-0, and they brought it to, once again, another decider. So the potential for, you know, the Wavy ones is still there. They're very perseverant, but right now who needs to be perseverant is Wallband. Look at this stack here.
Oh, look at the drought counter too. It's 37, and then gets 2 in a row, kind of just in a position where he didn't even need them to clear out the stack. Oh no, and he hangs a long ball all the way to the left. Is that going to be an early top out for Wallband? Wow. Just 30 lines in. That is an unfortunate start to the series.
Yeah, this that Gauntlet curse.
My gosh.
This is Wallband's debut, so. But definitely good news if you're a Wavy Ones friend.
Hey, yeah, you'll take the first game. That's always going to be a good thing. And Wallband just got bombarded there with really unideal pieces. I think it was like a 36-piece drought before the long bars started to come in, and yeah, just a little bit unlucky. But hopefully we'll be able to turn things back around. Could probably chalk that one up to just like, yeah, got a bad drought. Too bad for me. And we'll just need to play really well to come back here. Try to get the Grandmasters the win. 3, 2, 1. Tetris, game number 2 underway.
Yeah, I mean, there's one step closer to bringing the captain to where it comes down in the captain's match, and Sidnev has had some really stellar games in Gauntlet recently. Yeah, we know we said the Wavy ones, they started off pretty rough in the beginning of, you know, the first season, losing their first 5 games, but Sidnev helped lead the Wavy ones to a 13-match win streak. I mean, Sidnev has probably two of the most untouchable Gauntlet records. Well, one record was almost touchable until SV did lose to DMJ, but Sineb is the only player to remain undefeated in Gauntlet for an entire season, and a 13 team match win streak. I mean, that is just insane, especially considering the teams that we had. You know, the Millionaires, first seed, they were able to win up against the Drywallers, second seed. It's not easy to maintain just such consistency as an overall team over the course of essentially a season's worth of games.
Yeah, we'll be seeing some of Sidnev a little bit later. Depending on the results of this game, the circumstance and the stakes will be either very high or, you know, still high. Of course, game record is going to be important when it comes down to tiebreakers, but right now, Chalala in a bit of an awkward position there. Kind of, I think, mispositioned that long bar. He's going to be able to thin things out pretty nicely, though, and still in a good spot to score. Is Tetris ready once again? Only down about one Tetris at the moment. He's going to knock that one down. Simul Tetris for both of these players. Still about 21k for Wallband.
Yeah, definitely a much cleaner and much more organized stack from Wallband. We saw things, and things were looking a little bit precarious in the first game for Wallband. You kind of saw like a little bit of that kind. You brought it up talking about the tryouts, and some of those games that happened in the tryouts were similar to what we just saw. So tryouts obviously aren't an indicative indicator of performance in a match, but they do have some pretty strong correlation from what we've seen so far in today's matchups.
Just a little bit. I mean, that was probably why one of the... I'm sure there was a couple of games there in the quals that Wallband had a very similar situation than what we saw here just in this one game. So that's going to be a fun thing to keep an eye out for. But I think overall, both players generally very consistent. Wallband right now off to a bit of an early lead. I think it's about 2 Tetrises that separate these two players right now. And obviously a much better start for Wallband than game number 1.
Yeah, and Chala going for a lot of... Misses the T-spin. Hits the Z-spin, though, so, you know, a small little consolation prize, but that hole is so tediously placed on column 3, row 4, and it's going to have to take all those burns, too.
I think he was holding out just to see if maybe you could find like a perfect triple to clear, just skim off the top. But instead had to do it the old-fashioned way. Does get a Tetris 1 high, which is a small little reconciliation, but it is still Wallband holding on to that lead. And, you know, the small mistakes starting, not really adding up just yet, but you can see how Wallband has been able to capitalize so far.
Yeah, and, you know, we talk about these players. Hopefully this game we can see where we're looking at on 19 play-wise, because Chala does tap, and Chala had one of the most consistent tryouts. I believe, you know, Chala's trial was like a mid 900. You know, basically only captains were able to get something that high. And, you know, Wallband has the ability to play on 29 with the advent of rolling. So it's going to be real interesting to see how much that's going to play a factor. But right now, Wallband, 426, we could potentially see another 600k transition.
Yeah, set up for it right now. Another Tetris brings him to just under 450k. Chalala has a 2 wide well on the right side. Has 2 different burns to get himself out of it, and another Tetris will close that gap by just a little bit. But Wallband has not let up on that pressure, continuing to play very, very cleanly. His board has looked incredibly sound here in game number 2, and Chalala just got bursted there with some pretty unfortunate pieces, and has to take a little bit more of burns to get back clean.
And another Tetris for Wallband, 497 here. So still has potential for the 600k transition. And Chala's not doing too bad in terms of where the score is for their game. But we've seen how, you know, 19, it is a 50% increase in speed, and it can be brutal. So we'll just have to see how both of these players handle it, as they're going to be transitioning within the next 2 to 3 Tetrises.
Yeah, lead about stable at around 100k for Wallband at this point. Chalala has played a very, very good last couple of lines here. Has really been nearly perfect in terms of clearing things out. Has one burn and a Tetris to transition. He's going to use that one right now. Just waiting for the long bar to get over, but instead going to transition at 519,000. Wallband still has what Tetris left to go, and he's already broken 600k.
Yeah, our second highest transition here of the season, 637. That's wild in of itself. There's another Tetris for Wallband. It's going to be pushing P here. P being pace, that is.
In a little bit of an awkward spot. Should have enough to get himself out of this situation. Yep, nice usage of the L and the J. Knocks down another Tetris. The lead's still about 100k. Chihuahua, though, still playing rather efficiently. Has to find a way to get some pieces over to that left side. But almost in a position to start scoring again.
Yeah, left side definitely not the most comfortable here. But does get it under control. Another Tetris for Wallband. 744 to now 640. Both players are above what is considered max pace. But Wallband is putting on a fierce score. Does want to get this cleaned up, though. Would love to see another... Actually, another L would be... Wow. 3 L. Not a single long bar used to burn that out.
Oh, I thought maybe he would go for the dirty. Okay, yeah, a little bit... Maybe a little bit too overambitious if that ended up being the case. But he's Tetris ready once again. Waiting for a long bar. It was a little bit of cleanup that he had to do, which means that Chalala has actually cut the deficit a bit. But the long bar comes through. Tetris here for Wallband. 63k, now 92k as they're trading pieces back and forth.
Yeah, another Tetris was scored by Chalala. Is going to score another one right here. And Wallband counters 850 to now 788. And just look at how clean the play is from the both of them. Just like scoring clean Tetrises after each other, hardly doing any burns in between.
Yeah, this has been a really, really impressive post-transition for both players. Jalal has a little bit of cleanup to do, but going to be right back to scoring. And on the other side, Wallband is Tetris ready, but has encountered a 21-piece drought. 76% Tetris rate, still here at level 25, getting up to 942 very, very quickly. Almost got that long bar all the way over with his Tetris ready once again. Has a couple holes in the stack, but won't be too big of an issue as very much in control of this game.
Yeah, 977 at level 26. Chalala at 892, trying to get that left side kind of dealt with. And oh man, that was a really tough time to cover up the well. The long bar does come, can be saved. Waiting on it. Still just waiting on a long bar. Needs one. Running out of room. Oh my gosh, goes for the attack. Aggressive placement. That might have actually saved things for Chalala if the long bar comes, but the long bar, just barely gets it over. But it's not going to be to any avail. Wallband already with the max on 27. On the verge of topping out as well. Brings us tied up 1-1.
Hey, what a great match right there. Chalala just getting really unlucky with a big drought into just, of course, having the well filled up at just the wrong time. And that's kind of a problem. That's an issue that you have when your left side isn't all the way filled up when you get to those higher speeds. It just became hard for Chalala to find opportunities to fill his board up in a clean fashion. And because of that, ends up dropping game 2.
Yeah, I mean, we took a look at, Chalala really building up that right side. That's, a strategy if you want to just avoid burning on your right side at all. So you're not having to waste those burns to try and, get Tetris ready. But it comes with a major drawback of that left side having to be filled. And if you're not getting the eyepiece and your left side isn't filled, you can run into a dangerous situation. But it appears that both players are ready. So let's get them counted down for game number 3. Man, this is a hot match.
Yeah, well, I mean, it feels like anybody can take it at this point. We're going to get things started right now. Game 3 between Chalala and Wallband. Again, the Wavey ones really need this victory in order to keep themselves alive in the first match of the Gauntlet Ascension season.
Definitely, they wanted to make a change up here. Now, the Wavey ones overall, they've been a pretty consistent team throughout the history of Gauntlet. In the first season, they finished off in the playoffs at 4th. And last season, they finished 2nd. So if they continue this trend of cutting half where they finish, then who knows? Maybe this season they could be looking at a title. But of course, it kind of starts right here. All these matches eventually culminate at the end of the season. You want a good seed. You want a easier path in the bracket. I don't know about you, but for my first round in the playoffs, I would prefer to not play the Millionaires or any other team like that. And the way the
Yeah,
Grandmasters are looking, not want to play them either.
Yeah, they've looked very solid so far, and of course, important to note that only about half of the roster is actually set out to play today. So, with different substitutions coming in at different times, you can see we can see various looks from each of the teams, and it'll be a really fun season to keep track of, especially because I feel like the level of competition, Sharky, has gotten really high here in Gauntlet. I mean, every single player competing has maxed out the game at some point, and that's something that a couple years ago definitely would not have been able to say.
Yeah, I mean, in order to get into Ascension League, you know, you had to max out the game at least once. And, you know, we have players playing up against each other right now that have done it hundreds of times. And this is for, you know, all 70 or so players that are in the Ascension League. That's a lot of people. And, you know, you have them all facing off against each other on teams. You're looking at some of the potentially the most competitive season of Gauntlet that we have had ever.
And I feel like we're still seeing a competitive matchup between these two teams here, because even though it's 2-0 in favor of the Grandmasters, you remember back to the first matchup between Wide and Scamper. Of course, could have gone either way, and it ended up just being a couple of connection issues that ended up giving Wide a harder chance to get up there. And of course, Mari in their first ever series as well, playing pretty well and digging out of some really precarious situations. It's not like the Wavey ones have played bad by any means, and you know that they have Sidnev, who of course has been such an incredible player here in Gauntlet for the past couple of seasons. So, I mean, it's not like they're, you know, it's not like the Grandmasters have this series on lock just yet.
Yeah, this is a very pivotal Game 3. Winner of this will have the advantage going into Game 4, and that can either decide if we're one game closer to the Grandmasters taking the first match of the season in a Mercy rule, which hasn't ever happened. As a matter of fact, both of the first matches for Season Ignition and Season Overdrive went to a decider in the set, since they were both 5-player matches. So it all came down to the captains. So we might have an exception here if things continue. But right now, really close game here. 331 to now 357. Make that 354 to 357. Really close game.
Couple of tuck situations for Chalala to try and get through. Nice spin to make sure that board gets filled up. Tetris ready once again. We're still so close in terms of scoring. Vits here for Chalala as well to get another Tetris down. 400,000 to 380. This has been a fun game so far.
Indeed. And Wallband looking for the ideal piece to try and burn that out, and neither of them came. Had to go for this awkward SZ placement, and we're gonna have to see what Wallband does here. This might be the first major bit of separation that Chalala has. Wallband still holding out for the ideal pieces and is just not falling. And oh my gosh, Chalala! Dirty Tetris! But
oh no, the hang of the square as well. That's going to be tough. Needs to get a long bar all the way over to the left side. Instead, going with the J. The T going to play nicely there as well. Just needs an L, but going to block it up just at the wrong moment. The long bar comes in just in time. I think Chalala is safe. What a dig.
yeah, just as soon as I say that, Chalala had an opportunity to build up a massive lead up against Wallband just because of that one situation. Got into a situation themselves, and as a matter of fact, it's not over. Another drought is falling. 20 pieces and counting. Is finding some nice burns, but the long bar still needs to come sometime. RNG right now bullying Chalala. Long bar comes, just barely gets it in there in time to knock down a dirty Tetris. But hold on, we're only 10 lines away from the transition.
Yeah, Chalala's gonna have to burn this down quickly. The good thing is, if some long bars can come through at the right time, it actually is kind of not too bad of a situation. The board will be clean if the P sequences do come through. That Tetris there was huge. Chalala will transition at 521 and finally opens up fully the right side of the well. Blocks it up just as the long bar comes, but with another one in there, it's a Tetris for him as he finally escapes the jam.
Yeah, 521 to 521 at transition. Both players are dead even going into 19. This means it comes down to 19 and 29 play. So right now, Chalala off to a great start here. 50,000 points in the lead, but also a full level in the lead, meaning that Wallband could actually close the gap, and we could be looking at a tie game here. and it looks like we are already getting started. It seems like as soon as both of these players run into level 18, they just find a rhythm, they find a groove, and they start knocking down Tetris after Tetris. Minimal mistakes are being made as well.
And another Tetris for Wallband, closes the gap a little bit more. Some holes in the stack of Chalala. Almost in the clear, but Wallband already is. Another Tetris for him, only 5,000 points behind. And with that T, again, just set up for scoring. Every single time the long bar comes, Wallband is ready for it.
Yeah, Chalala running into a similar situation that we saw before transition. And man, this is not looking good. Oh, that hang could have gotten dangerous. Now it's going to have to maneuver pieces underneath and hopefully pieces that fit well. And it looks like RNG is providing. Chalala finding a way to bring this down. But now the pendulum has swung in the direction of Wallband, up to now a 50,000 point lead and almost a full level behind, as Chalala is now trying to fight for their life here.
Oh, there's a big dependency over on that right side. The long bar will come, but only going to knock it down for a double. And now with the clear over there, okay, things are going to go well for him right now. Finally, almost has things opened up. Probably, okay, not going to go for the dirty Tetris, but you can see maybe some desperation now has to be in play because we're getting close to 29. Of course, both of these players can play past, of course, that secondary transition, but of course, wanting to be in as good of a position as you can before that kill screen ends up coming through.
Ooh, nice little line spin over there for Chalala, going for a lot of clever delay burns, actually. However, RNG's actually rewarding Chalala. Oh no, that misdrop, and Chala's just not going to try. Chalala tops out at 734. Wallband with a dominant 19 takes game number 3, and we are one step closer to the Grandmasters taking the first match of Classic Tetris Gauntlet Ascension.
A really hard-fought game. It was just some unfortunate digs that just took a long time for Chalala to try and escape from. And it was a really neck-and-neck game for a large portion of that. But unfortunately, just really close top out there at the end for Chalala meant that Wallband is going to take this game, and it's going to style on us a little bit more as well. Some really impressive adjustments all the way at the top of the board.
Look at this dude. Going for the max here. Wait, didn't Wallband max in the last game? Yeah, Wallband maxed in the last game. Wallband's going for back-to-back. Oh my gosh.
Oh, he's so high up though. You can't get that over. Well played from Wallband. 2-1 now is the lead for him, as the match score for the Grandmasters is also 2-0. It's looking really good for the Grandmasters if they can come out and 3-0 their first match of the season. Of course, that's a really, really impressive thing, especially against a team like the Wavey ones.
Yeah, I mean, it would be the first time that something like that has happened in Gauntlet. First match of the season, you know, a 3-0. It hasn't happened. And doing it up against, you know, the second strongest team of last season, and they kept majority of their roster. So, they can do it here. That's a statement. It's like, oh yeah, the Grandmasters, they're coming for their chance at that title. Another chance at the title. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris, and you already see the captain saying GG. Not sure if that was meant for the past game or for this one, but we'll have to find out.
Yeah, SV is waiting in the wings, here to come out if team does need him. But of course, we will still play that captain's match regardless of the result of this series, but adds a little bit of extra pressure if it is to try to avoid that sudden death.
You know, last game, it was just so close all the way through up until the very end. And we really just see what happens when these players reach level 19, especially Wallband. Wallband has been so strong on level 19. Chalala has some strengths too, but Wallband, that's the reason why Wallband has won the past few games. Just the 19 has just been that more potent than Chalala here.
Oh, a little bit of not able to get that S all the way over, but should be okay for the moment. Has to take a couple of delayed burns, opens up that right well for a Tetris, but on the other side, Wallband in a little bit of trouble as well. Has to do some digging of his own.
Yeah, as far as things go, Wallband does have one game to give. but would prefer not to. And, you know, Chiala, very important game. It's kind of like the last chance that they'll get in order for the Wavey ones to have a chance at least winning this match. However, you know, if Chiala can win this, that stops the momentum that Wavey has occurred. 2 games of winning, dominant 8, dominant 19. You know, that's definitely a confidence booster.
Yeah, Wallband, of course, having playing too high just for fun, I guess, for the moment, has another dirty Tetris for himself there. The lead about 45k for Chiala at this point, and he has played very, very efficiently for the most part. Another Tetris there to bring himself up to 192. Wallband still playing with some weird dependencies. Now has one kind of just sitting in column 3. Just does not want to plug it up. Finally will have to, but now approaching a bit of a drought.
Yeah, definitely can see a bit of a change in the way that Wallband has stacked. And that has allowed for a 106,000 point lead for Chiala early on. And that's not even a Tetris, that's a triple. So still not able to find a way to score. And, you know, although Wallband does have a bit stronger 19 than what has been showed than Chiala so far and has more playability on 29 than Chiala, you still don't want to give your opponent this kind of runway. Because all it takes is for one mistake on your end, and we're looking at a decider.
Still playing too high. Looks like doing a good job at, you know, maneuvering himself away, but he has had a ton of droughts here in this game. It's just been drought after drought, it seems. Kind of just at the wrong times. Has some digging to do to get himself out of this one. Now dependency all the way to left side. Will be able to get it over as he takes a big sigh of relief. And a couple more burns will mean he's clean. There it is. Tetris for Wallband. The lead still very much in favor of Chiala.
Yeah, it's going to be trying to get set up for another one. Knocks down another Tetris. And knocks down a regular T-spin as well. 202 to now 336. And there is a 10 line advantage for Chiala, so that lead can be increased by 1 or 2 more Tetrises. So it really is going to come down to 19 play if Wallband is going to try and make this comeback. But if you're Chiala, you just have to continue and keep this up. But also, you don't want to top out early in the post. Wallband has some scary survival on 19. And combine that with efficiency, you have to maintain this momentum.
Of course, with a player like Wallband who can play really, really efficiently if given the opportunity, even at higher speeds, you have to be careful. But I mean, another drought coming his way. Just really unfortunate here. Another dependency over on the right, but only for a triple. We can keep talking about Wallband sport, but that's because there's not really much to talk about on the other side. I mean, Chiala's just played a beautiful game, never really encountering any sort of trouble through 100 lines.
But speaking about encountering trouble, Wallband was about to encounter some right there. Great timing on that long bar. Knocks down 2 quick Tetrises and gets almost the perfect... No, those are the perfect pieces to transfer over the well. Just looking for a couple more to potentially burn out in a little bit more of an efficient manner. There's Tetris for Wallband.
Getting close to that transition now. 542 to 331. The lead for Chiala is now over 200,000 points. And it's looking a little bit scary right now for Wallband. He has a really tough hill to climb, especially considering that you don't even have unlimited pieces on that kill screen. Yeah, there is that level 39 cap. We'll see if that even ends up mattering at all as Wallband knocks out a Tetris and will be the first to transition at 358k.
But speaking about that, Chiala had a little bit of a slowdown going into transition. And, okay, those are actually some good pieces. That O-piece, I want to try and find a way to burn this out. And Chiala transitions 574. Great pieces, efficient down stack just right before transition as well. But Chiala is going to have to try and maintain this lead because Wallband is starting to get hot and it's starting to look scary.
Yeah, I mean, he's played really well past 19. Another Tetris for him. The lead down to about 140k. Now, still a large one, but not insurmountable by any means. A couple of big digs from Chiala and some good scoring from Wallband would mean this game is once again competitive. Another Tetris here for Wallband. Now only 140,000 is the deficit.
It's gonna knock down another Tetris, cut it down to 114. But Chiala now also scoring back. But, I mean, considering where we were at transition, down by 200,000 points, and Wallband is ahead by a level and a half almost. But considering where we were, this is amazing display of efficiency from Wallband. I mean, it's increased the Tetris rate from almost 15%. They were near a 40% Tetris rate at the time of transition. So they are scoring a lot of Tetrises, and they're scoring them fast.
Almost able to get that. Oh no, a bit of a hang on the square. I don't think it's deadly just yet.
First slowdown we've seen for Wallband, but also Chiala in a bit of a slowdown as well. And, ooh, this could get actually dead. Oh no!
That's a hang.
That
That's a big cleaning to do.
Okay, it's actually gonna try and go for the flat bird. Oh, that is beautiful. Oh man, that is so beautiful from Chiala. But the thing is, the lead has been cut down to 51,000 points.
Yeah, all of a sudden, it's again a competitive game. I mean, there's many situations right there where Chiala does end up topping out, but still remains alive. This is all of a sudden incredibly close. Wallband has the chance to take the series right here, right now. Another Tetris reduces the lead to 17k.
Chiala now still not in a position to score. But, oh, it's going to go for row 2 and kind of has to. Wallband knocks down another Tetris.
One more Tetris would actually send Wallband into the lead. Okay, not anymore, though. We're just one Tetris that separates these two players. It's a very intense matchup so far. There it is. Green on Wallband's screen as he takes the lead. And all of a sudden, Chiala's in a bit of a weird spot as well. Gets dirty Tetris and will knock down another long bar for the double. Has to downstack really well. Or he just wants to get as dirty as he possibly can. Score as efficiently as he possibly can. Another hang for Wallband. Has to get pieces over to the left side.
Oh no, another one. Needs to... Wait, there's only 5 lines left till 29. And another Tetris from Chiala. That might be the dagger. Wallband needs another eyepiece here. Eyepiece is so wanted right now. Can Wallband survive this on 29? No, it can't. 912 to 967. Chiala manages to clutch out game number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to a decider.
Chiala ends up topping out at the end of level 28 as well. Wow, what a game between these two players. It seemed like Wallband was just kind of down and out for the count almost the entirety of that game, but had some really great post-19 play. Chiala encountered a couple of bumps in the road. Unfortunately, the deficit was just too large for Wallband to try and come back, but incredible matchup. We can see that, you know, as long as these players stay alive, if they get hot, I mean, there's no deficit too large.
Yeah, but they are ready for game number 5, the decider. Who will win? Will Chiala bring the Wavy ones to one more match in the set, or would Wallband put it all away? We're about to find out in 3, 2, 1 at Tetris. Oh wow. Funny alternate ZJ and SL. That's kind of funny.
So it's almost identical. It's almost matching piece sets.
Yeah, it was like mirrored.
A little bit out of order. Yeah.
Yeah, one of them is playing a 150 CC mirrored, the other is playing a 150. But I mean, all things considered, for Wallband to bring a 200,000 point deficit last game to being down by just a little bit over 50,000 points, I mean, that could have been scary if Wallband just had a little bit less of a deficit. And I think that should be the focus here in game number 5. Have a good 18, force Chiala to go a little bit more aggressive, because I mean, Chiala was in a comfortable position majority of 19. I mean, things got a little bit hairy, you know, towards the end, but Chiala didn't have to go for all these Tetrises and just to maintain efficiency. It was on Wallband to have to really push the metal there.
Another Tetris for Wallband. These players definitely staying competitive throughout this entire series. Right now, it is Chiala with about a 1 Tetris lead, or about 2 Tetris lead, I should say, because he is behind on lines as well. But things can, again, as we saw just last game, turn on a knife's edge really, really quickly. So have to make sure that you're not staying comfortable with the lead that you have. Just making sure that you're always playing as aggressively as you possibly can, without, of course, topping out.
Really clean play. And ooh, a little bit of uncomfortable situation for Wallband. Had a JP dependency, and unfortunately, the JP really took his time coming. Oh my gosh, converting it into a column 8 Tetris. That's a bit aggressive.
Oh, he was holding out just a little bit too late. The long bar arrived, and of course gonna set him back again in terms of the scoring. Ball is now up about 40k, and will be able to continue to score points as soon as a long bar comes through. Actually, no, blocking that up with the square at just the wrong moment. But now Wallband once again set up. This time will be rewarded with the column 8 Tetris, and one more. I think if he puts that in nicely, with the J, another Tetris for him, and we're once again back to even.
Yeah, Jala just opens up the well, knocks down the Tetris, but man, it was actually a scary situation for the both of them, and Wallband in particular, you know, going for a Cinderwell like that, this is the decider. You have no more chances, and you definitely would like to win this match, so then you don't put any pressure on your captain to avoid a sudden death, because either way you look at it, both of these captains, they are scary players, and having to go up against Sidnev in order to secure the victory for your team, not necessarily something that everyone would want to do.
Yeah, but we're right back to dead even again. Sharky, this game 5 is going to come down to the wire, it seems.
And oh,
Tetris here. Wallband, though, in a bit of trouble.
Oh, that bit of trouble kind of turning into a lot of trouble. Is finding good pieces to help burn this down. But this is a perfect opportunity for Jala. No way. No way Wallband goes for this. Okay, no, gonna take...
Still ready for it. Still waiting.
Oh my gosh! Dirty right whoa Tetris over there for Wallband.
See the little mini adjustment right there to only burn that single instead of going for the triple, just adding a little bit of extra efficiency in his stack and not knock down another Tetris. The lead still only about 31k. Of course, Wallband ahead by about 6 lines, but still keeping things competitive even when some of these tough situations come his way.
Yeah, even though these players have only been together for a little bit over 24 hours now, Wallband is already starting to play like his captain played last season. SV was known for having these incredible survival moments that were kind of self-inflicted to some extent. And, you know, right now, Wallband is at a disadvantage, down by anywhere from 2 to 3 Tetrises, still going for these elevated Tetrises as well. We are about to reach transition, only 21 lines away. Make that 19 now for Wallband.
Has not actually cleared all the way down, has just found ways to get 1 high, 2 high, and of course I think like 8 high at one point. Tetris is ready once again, clogs up the well for just a bit, and another drought comes his way.
Wow, actually deciding to go for that J placement. I was thinking of that as a possible solution, but it did have its associated risk, and Wallband actually going for it. 9 lines left till transition. A drought does not need to happen right here. Wallband in trouble.
Now needs to clear things up again. This is the second drought.
Please take the triple.
Yeah, such a short amount of time. Only 1 Tetris now before he hits transition. And 24 pieces, 25 is the counter as he hits level 19. It's a now 100k point lead for Chalala, trying as hard as he can to keep the Wavey ones alive in this match.
Yeah, but Chalala now also running into a little bit of situation, running into a drought, is taking the conservative burns. Wallband also in some trouble too. Both players back and forth. Dangerous situation here.
Another double here for Wallband, almost in the clear. Not just yet, just waiting. Nice double there to burn. Now has a long bar dependency here. Again, just coming at the wrong time. A triple to save himself, but Jalala just going to continue scoring in the meantime. 155k is now the lead, and Wallband barely able to get that piece over and stay alive.
Yeah, but still, Tetris ready. No, gonna have to take the triple and just burning it down. Dirty Tetris over there for Chalala. 171,000 point lead. Wallband has to hit the gas now. 200,000 point lead. Both players at the same line count, and Chalala shows no signs of ceasing. Wallband has to come up with an answer, and there's one. There's the Tetris. 539 and now 710.
Yeah, for Wallbent, has to play nearly perfectly. Another long dig might just, you know, be kind of a death sentence for him in this game 5. Again, another drought for him, hitting 22 to 23 pieces. Finally gets another Tetris down, but the lead nearly 200k, and Chalala doesn't really show any signs of slowing down just yet.
607 now to 800,000. Chalala setting up a little bit of a unique situation. Holding out for the right pieces. Doesn't quite hit the spin. So, that hang on the left-hand side. This could be an opportunity. Wallbent closes the gap now to 163,000. Knocks down another Tetris. Closes the gap even further. And Chalala still has to do some burning.
Oh, getting pretty high with that Spire right down the middle. Is still able to get pieces over to that left side, but maybe not for much longer. This is a really good opportunity for Wallbent to try and score. Another Tetris brings him to 100k, and Chalala is going to top out. 100k point chase down for Wallbent at this point. That's only 3 or 4 more Tetrises. I think he has the space to try and take this one.
Yeah, just needs 2 more Tetrises and change. There's one with like 1 more and maybe a triple or so. Such a hard-fought battle from Chalala. Had the advantage, but needed to survive. A Tetris for Wallbent. A couple more lines will do it. But we have to say something. Wallbent on level 19 is absolutely insane. These games have been won sheerly by Wallbent's level 19 prowess. And there it is, the Grandmasters take the match 3-0 at least, as Wallbent takes game number 5.
Oh my goodness. How many was that? Like 5, 6 droughts that entire game 5 for Wallbent? It's still, he was able to come together, keep himself alive, had some really intense digs on 18. He's going to end with a score over 850k. Another Tetris on 29 for good measure. And he has the capacity to continue to play this out. A hard-fought match. It seemed like every time that the Wavey ones took to the stage, it was a very competitive series. But the Grandmasters, the ones to come out on top, they have a sweep in their first game of Gauntlet Ascension.
And I mean, even though the Wavey ones aren't guaranteed a victory, or it's guaranteed that they cannot win this match, I think they still made a statement with not necessarily how the matches turned out, but the story of each individual match. Wide coming in, not having played since, you know, Ignition, if I'm not mistaken, having competitive matches with Scamper. Mari coming in, first matches, yeah, had a couple of early top outs, but showed some extreme promise over there in game number 3, I believe that was. And Chalala and Wallbent, Chalala showing you why they are the top, one of the top transcendents. Absolute amazing. And Wallbent, you know, one of the people that did not fall to the Gauntlet curse, you know, is able to win their first match of the season.
Really great stuff. And we have one more series left, Sharky, until for our matchup here in Classic Tetris Gauntlet. It's our captains, SV versus Sidnev. Of course, the match still decided for the Grandmasters, but we are still looking for some more play and can maybe get a clean full sweep out of the Grandmasters if SV is able to take this one.
Yeah, a clean full sweep would be insane. But I know I've been talking a little bit about it, I think on streams, but there is one thing that I want to see. Like, there might be a bounty for it, I'm not sure, but there is one thing that I want to see, and I want to see a flawless match by one team this season. That means not a single dropped game from a team. I think it's going to be super hard to execute it, but I want to see it so bad.
I would be happy to see that. I think that would be pretty fun, but it would also mean like kind of a shorter day for us on the commentary desk. I mean, it's always a long grind here for Gauntlet, but it's always a good time. And we have just one series left, and I think it might be our most exciting one of the entire day.
All right. Oh, wait, I think I forgot to remove some people from the max clip. My bad. All right, SV and Sinev, y'all both should be able to join now. All right. Ignore my green screen stuff. Everyone, welcome back. We are going to be getting started with our captain's match shortly. Both of our players are warming up. It is official. The Grandmasters have won this match, but can they make it a full sweep? Or can the Wavy ones make it a 3-1? I mean, what do you think coming into this matchup between these two titans? I think
first of all, hey, at least you have a green screen. I just have my other background here. I can still see the background kind of going through, even though there's a little bit of green here and there. But yeah, it's our captain's match. The Grandmasters went 3-0 in their first 3 games, which means that they've already taken the match victory. But now get to watch some of the highest quality gameplay that you might have seen today. Although that last series was just an incredible one between Wallbent and Chalala. But SV Nestris versus Sidnev is our final game. Of course, even though the Grandmasters have already taken the victory in the match, the tiebreaker, if at the end of the regular season, is a game record. So this can still be a very, very important factor.
Yeah, especially, down the road. I mean, these players, they're gonna want to try and make it within those top 6 teams. Not having to play in an elimination round. And I mean, like I said, elimination round, even though you're going to be playing someone closer in your seed, only having one series and having to, instead of having, multiple series to bounce back off of, that's a scary situation. And, at that point, money is on the line. You winning that series can be the difference between you having a chance of making it to the prize pool, whatever it is at the end of the season, or not.
What's going on the screen? Are those what I think it is? I think those are. Oh, it's just a nice headband. Okay, I thought that they were animal ears or something. But
I thought so too, but. Oh no!
I think
there's some collusion going on because Messex is a member of the Rogues. And
oh, they're the ears. Okay, let's go. We're fully decked out. Oh no, the headband fell. a fun little thing here is that SV and Sidnev played against each other in the ClassicTetris Monthly January finals just a few months ago, and of course very tough road for anyone to get to the finals of CTM. SV ended up taking that one 3-0, but these players definitely are familiar with each other, and of course Sidnev might want a little bit of revenge.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one way to do it. I mean, the ultimate way of revenge, which unfortunately did not pan out this way, would have been to take the first match of the season. Because, I mean, oh, what just happened? Level 88. That's actually sabotaging.
So we got one ready check. We got to see what the situation is here for Sidnev's setup. Of course, another best of 5. It'll be a good time.
Let's see. All right. Looks like it's good. Waiting on ready from Sidnev. Okay. Looks like we do have a ready from both players. So let's go ahead and count them down to the captain's match. Go ahead and count us down, Grace.
It is the captain's match, first captain's match of the season in 3, 2, 1. Tetris.
So once again, the limit is 39 this season. I'm not sure if the players had put in the super kill screen beforehand, but when not, we'll just call it at 39 if they do reach there, because they can. And already starting things off a little bit of sabotage over here by a member of the Rogues.
Okay, just need to make sure that Sidnev looks the best for this matchup, because it's a very important one, of course, our captain's match.
Tetris for SV is going to be able to kind of get back into this. Had a little bit of a rough opener. Sidnev's going to be able to knock down a Tetris, but that kind of too wide gap on column 1 and 2 can prove to be a little bit... Whoa, hold on a second. Maybe... it doesn't look... Oh.
Oh, still... Okay, not anymore. It's going to have to open up that well once again. Column 3 still Tetris ready if Sidnev is able to get some of the garbage out across the top of the stack. SV, though, having a very, very efficient start to this first game, and it's going to pull out to an early lead.
Yeah, 121 to 101. Sidnev still fighting for survival here. And looks like it's finally going to get that well open. Just waiting on the long bar now. Still waiting. 20-piece drought just about, and Tetris for Sidnev. 129 to now 169.
Nice double clear there with the T-piece. And things have cleared up very nicely here for Sidnev. Although SV, though, has been playing a very good game on the other side of things. Knocking down a Tetris to bring himself up to 195. And it's sitting at a 71% Tetris rate, now up to 73 after that one, and continuing to pile the Tetris is on one after the other. Lead all at 100k almost for a short period of time before Sidnev answered back.
Yeah, I mean, SV was basically semi-undefeated for last season for a reason, and kind of showing you why they earned the spot of being promoted to a captain from just a regular player. $265 now for SV, having to take a couple of burns. And something that I noticed from SV's play compared to where it was at last season is it's a little bit more tempered. You're not seeing the kind of wild SV going for these crazy high and aggressive setups. You're seeing an SV that has refined his craft and really going for efficient play. I mean, you are talking about one of the best players in all of Britain.
Yeah, and even like the whole world, honestly, like both these players in the top 12 in terms of elo, so this is definitely a highly competitive matchup as Sidnev knocks down another Tetris here. We can see that both players are stacked well. Sidnev one high, but I don't think that's going to matter too much. Another Tetris will bring themselves up to almost 300k, but still pretty far behind. A lot of ground to make up.
Yeah, ooh, nice spin over there from SV. And probably looking for a J-piece. Can we see it? Ah, missed the timing. So it's going to cost a little bit. And, oh, that O-piece was definitely on one. Oh, what just happened? We went from pristine to a junkyard in a matter of seconds.
It's going to take at least a while for SV to escape this, which actually gives some time for Sidnev to catch up. Not Tetris ready off of just having some extra holes in the stack, but was able to fill that up. Not going to go for that Tetris one high, instead just waiting for some other pieces to come down.
All right, great pieces over here for SV. Finally able to get back into this. And honestly, able to still keep the lead here. Was down, or was up by around, 80 to 100,000. And even though it's decreased a little bit, still up by 64. But, I mean, we're getting close to the exciting part, Graves. I mean, 19 play, and then hopefully we get to see some 29 play.
Another Tetris for Sidnev. She's going to go up to 462k, taking the lead. after, of course, SV had some garbage and cleanup to do. One Tetris away from hitting that level 19 transition. Tidnev is going to do that, transitioning at 486.
And SV set up for a center wheel is going to transition at 508. Very powerful transition. And it's going to try and hold on to this lead into the post. As SV clean. Tidnev, that left side. Problematic.
Being a little bit of lag over on Tidnev's side. It's going to be hard to tell how she's going to be able to clean out of this one, but still rather high up. Meanwhile, on the other side, SV knocks down another Tetris, extending the lead to 73,000. Tidnev still remains alive over on that left side.
Still remains alive, I assume.
Still moving the pieces a little bit. You can see the rolls on the cam.
Oh, okay, 495.
Oh, wow.
There's an update. Just use some instant transmission or something, but 623 for SV, 565 for Tidnev. Tidnev really taking us to school with this PowerPoint presentation here.
Well, I mean, overall, I've been playing very, very, like, impressively in order to keep herself alive even in this situation. SV, on the other hand, has been very clean throughout this game, other than that one little mishap right before transition. With the lead extending by a lot. It's about 163k. And it's going to probably continue to grow here unless getting a little bit into some trouble all the way at the top of the screen.
Oh, beautiful double O placement right there. So cerebral. I mean, it's stuff like that. Like, naturally you think that kind of placement is aggressive, but for SV, just has faith in his ability to get pieces over left and right, and it's going to result at 816 to now 680.
About 100k lead now here for SV. Another Tetris in to bring the score up to 851. Tidnev, on the other hand, still trailing by a little bit. I'm not 100% sure if the score is updating with the every time that, of course, the pieces end up updating.
Oh my gosh!
Actually ended up getting pretty high up.
Wait, and looks like, yeah, that's it. SV takes game number 1, 888 to 745. Couldn't quite see what happened there except for the top out.
A good game 1 for SV nonetheless. I think we're going to get a maxed out club reset over on Tidnev's side before we finish things out here. But hey, it was a good game from SV. I, of course, encountered a little bit of trouble, but was able to get out of it. And of course, that post 19 was just as good as always.
Nice. At least we get some entertainment while Messex and Sidna figure out what's going on there.
Yeah, 1.2 now as well. Another Tetris. Will we see the line cap hit even in a mullen like this? We'll see. Another Tetris. Wow. I mean, this is, if anything, this is just a showcase of what SV can do, and how, you know, both of these captains are able to play past level 29 with a lot of ease. Just really, really impressive stuff.
Wait, can we get a pre-39 rollover? I mean, it looks like it might be difficult, but it is possible.
Another Tetris. 1.48, almost at 1.5.
No. Wait, no way. No way. Oh, and hits the spin too.
Gosh.
Wait, hold on. It's actually completely possible.
I think yeah,
wait,
one more Tetris and that's it.
Oh,
Let's get the
come
rollover.
on. Come on. Oh, no. Almost had the rollover.
Wow. That was as impressive as we could get here out of SV. Of course, just incredible play all around, and that's of course game one going over. But
dude, that's
still
that's a state. If I didn't know what a statement was before then, that is a freaking statement. Man, that's scary. Because the thing was, SV didn't have like a terribly high score into level 29. Like almost 600,000 points, if I'm not mistaken, were scored on 29 speeds. Absolutely amazing. When we get it ready from SV, we'll be able to get this underway. Excuse me, get this underway. Alright, looks like we got it ready from both, so let's go ahead and count them down.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Sidnev wanting to come back here, even things up in our captain's match. Of course, even though the Grandmasters already have taken this matchup, it of course would feel good for the Wavey ones to get one on the board, especially with their captain.
Yeah, and whatever they did with Max Out Club, it did not work. I mean, the slideshows are happening more often, so I guess that's a positive. Not waiting every 10 lines to get a nice little score update.
Yeah, on the other side, SV stacked up actually a little bit high. Has a big dependency over in column 2. We'll clear it out with the J and is now ready for a Tetris over on that left side. Oh, but just not the right pieces coming. Another dependency actually now popping up for SV on column 8 now. And gonna be some trouble. Of course, Sidnev scoring efficiently, even though the board is a little bit hard to see. A hang there actually of the S, and SV is gonna top out incredibly early. That is unfortunate, and that's gonna be Sidnev taking game number 2.
Yeah, real unfortunate match there, or a game rather for for SV. But I mean, it kind of happens. You have just an amazing game, and then a not so amazing game.
I mean, the average is still what, 800k, so not
Yeah.
too bad average.
Yeah, not a bad average. 800k, pretty solid.
All right, we'll see if we will. I'm not 100% sure if there is the chance to change things up for Sidnev's screen, but maybe we'll just. Oh, it's such a cute interaction. Oh, they're so cute.
Alright, looks like we have readies. So let's go ahead and get both players counting down game number 3. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Ooh, nice overhang over there from SV.
We're not seeing too much out of Sidnev's screen so far, but SV so far playing pretty cleanly right now. Obviously, some points have been scored over on Sidnev's side. We just don't know what they are just yet.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's not. Okay, yeah. So we're separated by
Oh, there's a score.
All right then. At this point, we're almost getting. Well, FPS is improving. We're getting negative FPS there for a second. Nice overhang over there from SV. Good
piece placement overall from SV, although Sidnev still in control of the lead. Surprisingly, the Tetris rate actually lower for Sidnev at the moment. I'm not sure if that is a max out club error or not, but so far he's looking okay. She's in the lead right now. SV's gonna knock down another Tetris, and another one on top of that has the opportunity to continue to pile on the points.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting a little bit more FPS here. 171 now, 148. SV looking for ideal pieces and just not quite getting them.
Oh, now a bit of a dependency there in column 2. We'll be able to fill it in, and just would like a J over to the left, and it looks like he's going to get it. Another Tetris there for SV, 176k to 225 on Sidnev's side.
Yeah, Sidnev continuing to score pretty efficient here early on. 270 in the range of around a 600k transition, maybe a little bit higher with some more efficiency.
I can't tell exactly what the moves Sidnev is making, but I can tell that she's had a very good game so far. In the lead right now, another long bar, surely to be a Tetris right there. But SV now it has the board in a clean spot as well. Knocked that one down for a Tetris, and we are very neck and neck here in this game 3.
We still have around half of the ways to go till level 19. And nice adjustments from SV. And SV actually going for the triple. A little bit more of a, what you would consider conservative by SV standards. But another way is just a smart placement. Oh, wow. Unfortunately, that's double J dependency.
I mean, you can see that even in some precarious situations, SV has been able to solve these and take as few burns as possible while opening up the well as soon as possible. A nice tuck of the J in there to open up that well once again. Although a drought is here, we'll see how long SV does have to survive, while Sidnev on the other side still has control of this lead.
$393 to $438.
We're 100 lines in. Right now, it is Sidnev still with a slight lead. Although, again, as we saw from SV, you can't really take too much of the pre-19, even 29 scores, because all of that can change so quickly. SV gonna knock down another Tetris. About a 50k point lead, and Sidnev still just in control of this game.
Yeah, we are nearing the level 19 transition. We saw SV have a pretty strong transition, and Sidnev survived some. Well, actually, we didn't see much of Sidnev surviving. We saw a lot of frames of survival, but we can't expect that Sidnev can survive and score pretty efficiently in the post-transition.
Here we go, 600k transition for Sidnev, so been a very, very efficient game so far. SV still has a couple more Tetrises to go before they transition over as well. And it looks like still set up pretty nicely. A nice tuck in there with the eye. Now just waiting for the long bar to actually make that final move over to 19. There it is.
SV down by almost 100,000. Oh, nice overhang setup right there. It would have knocked down a Tetris. Consume Sidnev just keeping up the pace here. At least that's what it looks like with all these frames we're getting.
It's like we're getting little updates. It's like you're waiting for the next update every once in a while as well. And so far, every update has been good for Sidnev. Of course, she has about a 100k point lead at this point. Another triple there for SV. As he has encountered a bit of a drought as well. Finally gets that long bar over and knocks down a Tetris. And another one on top of that as well. But you can see Sidnev just playing incredibly efficiently.
Yeah, what the heck?
The
You
lead
know,
is continuing to grow.
Sidnev, they were frozen in time there for a moment. And the lead when Sidnev was frozen was like 60,000 point advantage. And then when Sidnev gets unfrozen, 130,000 point lead.
Just goes to show how efficient and how good these players really are. Of course, we do have to keep into account that there is the level 39 cap, but we saw how many points SV was able to pile on after getting to that point, nearly hitting a 1.6 before that kill screen. We could really call it a kill screen because it's nearly impossible to score, even for our rollers that we have here in the captain's match.
Yeah. SV is actually making a bit of a Actually, SV might be ahead in pace. A full level behind, down by 100,000 points. But just not finding any consecutive scoring opportunities. Except for maybe one right there. There's a Tetris for SV. And, well, we know at least Sidnev gets one Tetris there. 944 to now 879.
Max out already here for Sidnev on level 27. SV trying to match that sooner rather than later. Another Tetris for him brings him up to 944,000 points, but still a tough road to climb. The deficit is continuing to grow as Sidnev has really found a hold here in this game. Just a few more lines away from hitting level 29, and that's where the fun really gets to begin.
Yeah. So we get twice the speed and half the frames on Sidnev's side. And oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, it looks even worse.
Both players have maxed out, so that's a fun thing to take a look at here. But Sidnev still very much in the lead, over 100,000. And SV going to get on to 29 with a 1.06.
And Sidnev's board looks like it's starting to go into disarray, I think.
But it's
hitting
Sidnev,
up
though.
higher?
Oh, that looks like she's Tetris ready, actually. I think that was a Tetris there, all the way up there on 31.
Yeah, but SV has been on a tear. Knocks down a Tetris at 5,000 points behind. What the heck? Wait, what? Never mind. 45,000. See, I can't deal with this.
Okay, I think this is the final score here for Sidnev. It's 1.24. So one more Tetris and a little bit, I think, is going to be enough to give SV the victory after all is said and done. There's a triple, but now overhangs over there on the left side.
30,000 points remain.
Clear.
Okay, nice. Bringing the stack down. Oh, that's a huge triple. 7,000 points. Oh, no. Needs another eyepiece. Oh, that's tough. And
no.
7,000 points away. Sidnev takes game number 3.
They're fired up over on Sidnev's cams. Wow. Came so close down to the wire right there. And just one small overhang for SV. The comeback was in his sights, but it was just not enough. What a close game.
Indeed.
Alright, well, we're about to head into game number 4. Sidnev on match point here. It would be a big win for the Wavey ones to at least get one back here. Let's see if she's going to be able to do it. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Hey, it looks like things are looking maybe a little bit better over on Sidnev's screen. Again, we apologize for some of the technical difficulties, but looks like
Blame
for
the
now it
rogues.
is
They're
have to deal with.
stealing the Wavey one's connection.
If this is sabotage, it doesn't really seem like that would be something that they would be at, that the rogues would want to go for. I don't know. I guess it might be in the name.
Yeah. But SV now back against the wall here. Gonna be looking to try and bring us to a decider. Hopefully one in more definition than this. But, this is one of the things that, come into play with the team format. Sometimes your captain doesn't always have, win up against the other captain. And when the other teammates, they pick up the slack. I mean, the Grandmasters, no matter what happens with this match between Sidnev and SV, Grandmasters, they still won the first match of the season. Now, had Shala won that last game up against Wallband, then we could be looking at a potential sudden death situation.
Yeah, it's just like there were so many moments where it was like one little thing could have gone differently, and maybe this matchup just flips on its head. I mean, we're treating this one kind of as a bit of a show match, but also of course in terms of game record. But I mean, this could have had a lot of stakes if one of either, of course, Shalala or Wide ended up taking that 3-2 victory. We could have been looking at something very, very different.
Yeah, very close game so far. Sidnev. Oh, that Tetris rate is inaccurate because I'm guessing Maxed Out Club is reading half the Tetrises. So, because they should be looking at only 3 burn lines with how efficient this play is. Hope you all have been enjoying the show though.
Yeah, it's our first game of Gauntlet Ascension, our first game on the Classic Tetris channel for this year as well. We hope that, of course, you continue to stick with us throughout the rest of the season. We'll keep everyone updated on where the matches do end up taking place, but it's going to be a good year.
Yeah, especially, team. I'm really curious to see what kind of names the Rogue and Team Eternal is going to make. $315 and now $327.
I'm not gonna lie, I would love to have bounced off you there, but I have not looked at the rosters too closely just yet. But I mean, I feel like there's just a ton of really competitive players in this pool. Some of whom are competing for the first time, as we have seen a few of them earlier today. So it should be a really fun season. Some old faces, some new faces, but overall just a good time.
$350 to now $419. Well, we gotta wait for our up there. Yeah, 442.
So right now, overall, it does look like Sidnev has a slight lead, although not as large as it was for her in the last game, where even though it seemed like on our left side of the screen, on our right side of the screen, SV was having a very good game, Sidnev just continued to pile the points on and is playing very efficiently from what we can tell right now.
Yeah. $516 to now $465. SV playing really good. I mean, 70% Tetris rate is nothing to sneeze at. It's just Sidnev is looking to try and match what Wide was able to score earlier. Hopefully we can actually confirm that and it not give us an update like mid-19.
We're getting close to the area where it might not even matter, because Sidnev is at 539k at just 110 lines and has still a lot of Tetris left to score and is playing incredibly efficiently right now. Nice spin there for SV of the Z to keep that stack clean. Has 2 more Tetrises before transition ends up coming through. Same on Sidnev's side, as she has already broken 600k.
Can try and grab one more. Okay. Points are just coming in out of nowhere. 28-ish piece drought. All right, 631 is the transition, so not the highest transition for today, but still a very high one.
Isn't that cool that our first matches actually had the highest transition? Even though we have different tiers of players, they all can show up just kind of at a moment's notice and really perform.
Yeah, and you know, having to perform in that moment to help bring it to a decider too, that was truly, you know, one of the best performances that I've seen out of a Ruby, even considering some of the Rubies last season, with the exception of, you know, like SV, O, DMJ, the players that would be considered Transcendents last seasons but were Rubies. Like, that was some of the best performance that I've seen out of that division basically ever. Yeah,
but I mean, I think we're in store for a competitive game here, even post 29, post 19, whatever you want to call it, because SV has been able to keep things close. Lead is kind of hovering between 50 and 75k as each side hammers down Tetrises seemingly at will. Both boards have just been exceptionally clean ever since the transition has hit, and it's showing right now as Sidnev still on an incredible pace on level 22.
Yeah, 832 at level 22, 786 from SV. Still, once again, not a bad game, maintaining a 70% Tetris rate. And I can only assume that Sidnev is maintaining an 80% Tetris rate since we're getting a little bit less than half the frames.
Another Tetris there. I mean, we're getting close to max outs before level 25 for Sidnev. I believe could be able to do it if she's able to play perfectly the rest of the way. Another Tetris here for SV, going to go over to 25 with an 889 score. Another Tetris as well to bring it up to 921. Sidnev transitions over to level 25 and has the board pretty stacked up. I believe has maxed out the game at this point. Another Tetris should do the trick right there as well. We're getting down to the wire, but of course both these players can play into 29, can play all the way over to that 39 kill screen. So we just have to wait and see who's going to come out better and more efficient when we get to that part of the game.
Yeah, 958 to now 990 to Sidnev's 1 million and wait for the update. 1,088,000. There we go.
Yeah, actually, this game's still very close. Only about 2 to 3 Tetrises separate each other, and Sidnev has some cleaning out to do. before she can start scoring again. Meanwhile, SV has a very, very clean setup, has 2 opportunities for Tetrises before transitioning over, and now, taking a look at the score, has been able to work his way all the way back to even, with both players having just 1 Tetris to go until 29. Sidnev going to hit hers transition at around 1.17, and SV just waiting for a longboard, but encountering a drought maybe at the wrong time. Hits level 29, has to get those pieces over.
Still very close from both players, separated by 3,000 points. And some extraneous amount of points waiting on the update from Sidnev's side. But oh no, SV, these pieces are not ideal, and the score is lower than Sidnev's. This might be it. SV can't do anything. And Sidnev takes game number 4. So the Wavey ones do get 1 point out of this, but the Grandmasters still made a statement here tonight. And I think that statement was heard loud and clear.
Yeah, I mean, it was 3 very, very close series. It was 2 3-1s and 2 3-2s. But overall, I mean, it's just a very competitive set of Tetris matches that we got to watch today between these 2 teams. And if all of Gauntlet is like this, even though it was decided before the captain's match, it's going to be a fun year.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. And I mean, I think that really sets the tone for the year. I mean, who cares? Well, obviously the teams care about the result, but outside of the overall match result, what these players showcased today, it really shows that there is a lot more camaraderie. There's a lot more teammanship between them. You can see each other supporting each other, and I really think that this season is going to be one to remember.
Hey, it's maybe the most competitive season that we've ever had. So many incredible players, even incredible players that weren't even drafted, and we'll have to wait until that midseason draft to potentially get picked up. But the first matchup of Gauntlet Ascension going the way of the Grandmasters, Sharky, and against a statement against a team like the Wavey ones, who again had such a dominant end to last year.
Yeah, and I think, you know, there's another message that got sent, because I know a lot of people, you know, it's like SV was basically a captain last season because of just how strong he played. Well, SV was a captain in this match, and it wasn't him that won the match. It was the team. Kingsman, Scamper, 2 of the OGs on the Grandmasters, and Wallband coming in, winning a clutch decider. That really just goes to show the Grandmasters as a whole, they stepped up their game, and they are looking to have another shot at that finals, maybe up against the Millionaires or maybe up against a brand new team. We are going to find out. But that's going to do it for today's match. Do you have anything you'd like to say or add, Grapes?
No, thank you for having me. It was a fun first time here calling a Gauntlet Ascension regular season game, and can't wait to do some more. Can't wait for the season to continue to progress.
Yeah, it was fun too, and the moments that were made, I mean, there were so many highlights. Like, essentially what we got today was the equivalent of what you would see in a playoff match last season, which is ridiculous. But we're gonna send a raid over to Matt Martin, who went live to snipe the stream, which you know,
hey, it's a good strategy.
He's a member of the Rogues. He can steal a couple of things. I mean, they were definitely stealing Sidnev's internet connection.
If you guys want to hear a little bit more, just get the intel of if that was intentional or not. Go send some love over there. But
yeah.
Thank you very much for watching, everybody.
Yeah, I'm your favorite underwater host, Sharky.
Oh, I'm Graves. I thought you were gonna do it for me. Yeah, sorry, I'm Graves. Thank you.
Well, I don't have like any kind of puns or anything.
Yeah, I gotta think of one. I told you I was gonna do it last week, but I'll really start thinking again.
Yeah, we'll get it figured out. Anyways, we'll see you in the next match of Classic Tetris Gauntlet Ascension.